You got to unmute, honey. Unmute. Jiggle the
I
hand.
was
There you are.
really sick for a while. I had some kind of a flu and I couldn't keep anything in my stomach for 5 days, so I didn't eat for 5 days.
Mm. Maybe you got the Omicron because it's very mild compared to the previous COVID.
Well, I used those tests and it didn't show up, so I don't know.
Okay. All right.
Well, back in October, which would have been the Delta time period, I had a cough like I've had no other cough for 3 weeks of uncontrollable coughs, and then it got better for 3 more weeks. But it was the test didn't show it, but
Okay.
whatever it was, you don't want it.
Yeah. Now, see, I got the COVID 2 years ago in March. See, I was in California when it started out there, and then I flew into New York when it got big there, and we were just learning it's called COVID and all, while I was over there. And then I got to Paris, and I couldn't climb 3 steps without stopping in exhaustion. I thought I had emphysema, and for over 2 weeks, every time I moved right from the living room to the kitchen, I was like panting, as if it was a jog. So I thought because I smoke cigarettes and I smoke weed, that I must have got emphysema. And then my doctor told me later, when it was all established about a month later in Paris, the real COVID test, he said, damn, you walked through COVID. And I said, it scared me, friend. And he advised me to get a booster, not a booster, a vaccination like a month later, which I did. And I haven't been ill since then.
Wow.
But it was frightening when I thought I had emphysema because it was those early weeks of COVID news,
Oh, this was way a long time ago, huh?
This was in 2020. You see, I was in New York and the Bay Area, Oakland and San Francisco in late January, just as the news was coming out about this mysterious virus. And it hit California and the Northwest, and then it hit New York, and coincidentally, that's where I was.
Wow.
So I never got tested. I just thought I had goddamn emphysema. I said, oh my God, I'm glad I live in France. They'll hospitalize me. And then it quit after 2.5 weeks. It just quit.
Long time.
You were lucky.
Yeah, very lucky.
I'm healthy. I can admit I'm healthy because to survive that without treatment, I was lucky, and I felt why? Because I move a lot. I move through life, and I eat fairly well. I think that was it. I think so. And Pablo's on this. Pablo, are you there?
Yes, sir. Happy Super Bowl Sunday.
I
forgot about that.
Go Bengals.
Can't see you. Gotta see your face.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to I'm munching some stuff. I don't want to be rude.
Okay.
Yeah,
and my box, you can see my dog Bertha. My dog there. Yeah, the camera lens keeps shifting. So when it settled on Bertha, I thought she's a good stand-in for me,
There you go. There you go. Yeah.
Is she gonna read? Is she gonna read today?
The Sleeping Dog is her new. And her second poem is called "Feed Me, Bitch." And I'll leave a little something for you on the living room floor.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's funny.
So, how you doing, Dharma Dave?
I'm doing fine. How's everybody doing? Good to see everybody.
Yeah. Did you meet Joe when he was with us a little while back?
I met Joe before a while back on here. Yeah. How you doing, Joe? Good to see you.
Great. Good to see you, my friend.
I frequently encounter Joe on the social web. He's
because Joe's hitting it on social media. Yeah. Joe's the man, man. We got to get selfies with Joe.
I know, because that would boost our brands.
Yeah.
I want to come to San Francisco and I want to come back to Paris. I've never been to San Francisco. That's the truth.
Oh, wow.
So I need to get
you'll
out
enjoy
there.
it if you make it out here.
I've never been farther north than Bakersfield. I used to live in Buena Park down in Orange County. Went to high school there.
Did you
But
really in
we never made it north.
And it's two different worlds too,
Yeah.
Northern and Southern California.
Yeah,
Sure is.
Different places.
Well, how'd you end up in Detroit, Joe?
No, I started in Detroit, and here, funny story, you're talking about emphysema. My father had emphysema, and so we moved to California because he didn't want to have to struggle through the winters here in Detroit. So when I was I guess I was a sophomore, we moved to Buena Park, California, stayed there for 2 or 3 years, and but then the smog was so bad, that was around 1968, 69. He couldn't breathe out there, so we came back, moved right back into the same house that they had rented to move out there,
Wow.
and came right back to the same place. And I don't want to scare you, but he passed away at age 45 from emphysema. He couldn't blow out a
Wow.
match.
Was he an
So,
auto? Was he an
Emphysema
auto
was not a
worker?
joke.
Did
Yeah,
he
my
work?
father had emphysema too.
I wonder if Joe, if your dad was an auto worker.
No, He
Oh,
was a
okay.
refrigeration engineer. Yeah.
Okay. How about your dad, Jeannie?
Well, actually, he was a counselor, psychological counselor, and then he worked for the BPA, which is the Bureau of Public Assistance, as a supervisor there.
Okay.
He had a lot of social interaction, and he was a poet.
Oh, nice.
Mhm.
Okay, because I think some people, I mean, I'm not a doctor, so we know this, right? There's a disclaimer. But in Pittsburgh, where I originally grew up, a lot of people got emphysema working in coal mines. It's called black lung, and red lung out of steel mills. It was called red lung. And those are cousins to emphysema. It eventually suffocates your breathing system. And they warned us about living there and all. And we're all smoking cigarettes, of course, being good, working class youth. And, on your break from a smelting furnace, you go out and have a couple cigarettes. And I don't I don't take it lightly. I just have come to the conclusion, I've never gotten any kind of pulmonary ailment. And some people I know, like say your father, Jeannie, who worked in a non-industrial setting, can get it. So I don't know, I don't know.
And TB, and his sisters, two sisters died of TB. So I guess TB was in him. I remember when I was a child, he had to go to the hospital, and he stayed there for 6 months.
Yeah, I had a similar situation like that. My dad had pneumonia 2 or 3 times, and that'll scar your lungs and weaken your ability to breathe. So, and he had like tanks of oxygen. This is a long time ago when they used to have those big, heavy tanks, and sitting at the end of the bed, and he would wake up in the middle of the night and put the mask on, and it was scary. It scared the shit out of us. We didn't like that at all.
I feel you. Wow. Okay. I was reading, James Joyce Ulysses was published 100 years ago, last week, about 10 days ago. And one of the footnotes, if you will, to Joyce was one of the reasons why he stayed away from Dublin, besides resenting being rejected, Joe. He had all these rejection letters when he was younger, saying he was just a joke so much, that they didn't take his work seriously. But another reason why he stayed away was because back then in a slum-ridden London, which was Dublin, which, Ireland was in a third world health and nutrition category. See, right here in Northern Europe, Ireland went down, was so exploited by Britain that conditions of malnutrition, and the other thing was tuberculosis. People living in poorly heated housing in wet climates. They were going down. A lot of people went down and died from tuberculosis. And Joyce said, I have to stay away from there because it's so easy to catch it in Dublin. I remember that.
In
Nowadays,
Japan, about the 1920s, there were just carts of people, dead bodies every morning of people that had TB. It must have been a big epidemic in Japan around that 1920s.
Yeah. Okay, like it was in Ireland and
Appalachia. My mother's
elsewhere.
family lost a couple people from TB in southeastern Kentucky, in coal mine.
Coal mine, yeah. That's it. That's an early death sentence, working in the coal mines, working in the mines. So, and it's criminal the way those miners were treated by industry when they go to refamiliarize. In the first round, we ask all of you to do 3 pieces. And then in the second round, after a brief break and a little chat, we ask you to come back and do 2 pieces. And that's how we do it. And I want to mention, I have to send Narcelle a message. I wish to mention, Narcelle, that Angora Poets, the largest geographical following for the last month that we have, is from Turkey.
Wow.
All these Turkish people, I don't know their backgrounds because we're not friends, but I know enough about Turkish spelling, to know. And then they say one mutual friend, Narcelle. So she's brought in a lot of Turkish people who follow our YouTube recordings. So that's very nice. And I'm going to encourage Narcelle again to invite Turkish poets on, and so we can enlarge our field of people. And all right, now who's got that noise on? All right, who's got that noise on?
I think it may be Larry.
Are you singing again, Bertha? Bertha, are you singing in your sleep? All right, so let's get okay. So here we go. So prepare your work, if you will. That would be Lydia, followed by Jeannie, followed by Pablo, by Dharma Dave, by Narcelle, by Joe, by Lawrence, and by Mo. So that's how we can do it. All right. Any other questions before Dharma Dave here puts us on the Rorschach YouTube channel? And that's why you see the square in there black called Rorschach. That's Dave's YouTube channel, and that's all. He's puts this up every week, and we're very grateful for that. So there we go. So
I'm happy to do it, and you're ready to. You can start the show whenever you like, Mo.
All right, I can start the show whenever I like, and I've got Trusty Bertha right here, and she has no objections. I hope the viewers don't mind looking at my dog for a while. Frankly, it's an improvement. So says my girlfriend. Now, hello and welcome to Angora Poets World Cafe. I'm Mo Singer, and I'm one of our poets. And we welcome you on this February 13th, 2022, the year after the worst 2 years in history that preceded us. We've talked about tuberculosis. We've talked about other catastrophes. Our generation has lived through the historic period of COVID. Our children and grandchildren and soulmates will remember this. Okay, so welcome everybody, and this is a World Cafe. And so for those of you about to listen on YouTube, you will once again be listening to people from different locations in different languages and different styles of writing. What brings us all together is everybody knows how to land a poem. As Monty Hall used to say, this is not the Gong Show. So, all right, I welcome you. And I want to bring on our first poet from coming in from Brooklyn, New York to kick off tonight. And that's Lydia Percy. Hello, Lydia.
Hello, peace and blessings. So
Thank
the first one, I'm glad you brought up Pharoah Sanders because I've been to see Pharoah. I was lucky enough to see him at Birdland and also at the Blue Note several times when he was here in New York. So this is for him and Coltrane. Here's to bricks and dead ivies, orphan ghettos of cave-painted domiciles, unable to smile at humanity's earthiness. Draw close, listen to the opening ear of the universe. Hear yesterday's pipes ripping through bricks and dead ivy's hollowed halls. There's a train rolling, roaring, screeching out North Carolina hills, resting on coal miners' mountains. There's pharaohs, screams echoing out the Ozark. Arise, arise along Coltrane minding musical modes. A great pharaoh is on the road between their burning desire to set the world on fire, chords pouring into pores, out birth canals and shiny golden bows, spiritual rituals ordained them the jazz kings, howling, holy sanctify, canonize, and let me testify to being baptized in a rhapsody of bricks and dead ivies, floral ascension, varied dimensions, stitching bebop into the swatch of hard bop. These mortar men with wheeling axes, flames, assail, assault against the grains of sound. Let free music reign all over. Void restriction to tooted tubes and musical loops, tooted tubes and musical loops. Intense loving, winging your drums to listen. They are the smoking dragons, hissing kisses of strange hymns. Let's call out to them, call out to them. They are a cappella. Stars so very, very far out of the hemisphere. I mean, way out. These are the bricks and dead ivies of orphan ghettos of cave-painted domiciles, unable to smile at humanity's earthiness. They are the hashtag of rag jazz, setting stage for the experimentalists that want to go way, way outside the bounds of sound. Here's to Pharoah and Coltrane and Albert Eiler, to bricks and dead ivies.
All right, tribute to Pharoah Sanders and jazz. Yes, I think you'll get unanimous approval for Pharoah Sanders, let alone jazz in general.
Oh yeah, love that, love that. Yeah,
Thank you.
I just have to tell you that I saw a shrink. It's obvious, but for 10 years, and his name was Aaron Thaler.
Mm-hmm.
And in his name, I heard somehow the echo of Pharoah Sanders. So that's what I called him.
Oh, that's what you called him.
Yeah. So he, became Pharoah, and
Pharoah.
between us. So
I'm telling you, it was so powerful
Yeah.
to be there at Birdland, the new Birdland, not the old Birdland, but it was like that energy was there. And I mean, you just couldn't deny the movement in the room mentally and just united, it was great.
Yeah. Albert Eiler. Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, Isla was just like his spiritual unity was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny when I was in
I love that
Istanbul
point.
and I heard the call to prayer, I thought of Albert Eiler.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. How about number 2?
Oh, number 2.
Please.
Okay, so this is another one, but not so much that. Come wither inside my soul. and rest your staff inside the shaft. Relax till the early rise of eyes, cue balls roll. Arouse heat and steam that streams loose, pass between the temple's pillars. Naked feet trace the structure of your resting Negro thighs. We be a moaning and sing our songs, eyes lullabies, allowing the harvest moon to raise its legs, light entering our Black forum. How is it we love beyond the urban screams and sirens and flying bullets, smoke in Brooklyn, only to realize while we smolder between the sheets, there's tragedy in the streets.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's a great outro, Lydia. While we smolder between the streets, there's tragedy in the streets. That's so true.
Yes.
Okay. Number 3, please. 3's a charm, Lydia.
Okay. This one's a little long. I'll read this one. That's it.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me see where I put it. See, couldn't find it. Oh, okay. I think I read this one before. I'm not sure. I probably did. Well, since I'm on a jazz thing, so I tend to do this one. So they say jazz flood my blood, and that I'm a nymph. I'm a head spinning from dizzy's blow. When nightfall, jazz crawls out onto the city streets, and they rise up manholes, and taxis sing sexy in the night racing across the streets, searching for the old and the new muse that fuse from the do-good, feel-good in the right place after midnight, where souls cram and jamming into dark spaces, await and awaken to king pleasure. Their measured notes, their spiral twist out of the pipes that flip and skip and stop and steal the spotlight, like Chick Webb. So give him some respect as a drummer is said. Yeah, I ride a train all night long just to hear Equinox is my solitude. And this is how one chased the blues, cause I'm a muse head and heat of beats that sound and drowned my doldrums. So come seduce me and introduce me to strophe that be my thing that glide in between the swing. You might find me on the bridge. Sunny, bring me to my knees. And you know those hurricane horns, like Sunny's stick bow to Dizzy's whipping licks, opening up the night skies, long enough to see bird fly, long enough to see the bird fly, fly, fly.
Yeah. Long enough to see the bird fly, D-Y-R-D. Okay, that's some really nice stuff, some nice jazz poetry, Lydia, thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. And reminding some people that came in earlier, just by chance, we were really talking up big about Pharoah Sanders as a big influence on us, long ago. Oh, man. Okay. Let me get myself positioned here. My camera lens is one of these attachment lenses. And the least little vibration falls on the floor. Pretty much like me in the old days, one more shot and I'm below the bar. So here we go. We're going to go from Brooklyn all the way to the other end of the continent. And we're going to go to Los Angeles and present Jeannie Nakano. Hello, Jeannie.
Hi. This is an ekphrastic poem and of a something done during the Edo period of it's called Mood Indigo, but it's not Mood Indigo by John Coltrane.
Well, what is the Edo period, please?
1890s. I have to look it up, the exact period, but I wish I had the picture with me.
Is this a Japanese tradition?
The picture, they have these. I don't have a picture with me, but I could pull it up later and show it to you. The traditional woodblock prints, like Hiroshige. Remember the big tsunami? Well, that style of wood blocks. So it's a wood block, all done in indigo color.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're ready.
Indigo sky above a sliver of crescent moon. Aya can move freely, almost invisible, away from the glaring daylight where she hears the village wenches whisper, mosquitoes in her ear. They covet her silk kimonos and the bounty of combs in her raven hair. She is Aya, the royal courtesan, and yet Aya can't wait for her hair to fade, her breasts to drop, and her lips wrinkle like a dried plum. She dreams of the days and nights when she stays in her room and writes tanka, haiku, and prose. She sees and tastes too much of the world, and she knows too many secrets. A silver moth wings in the night, trapped between window and screen, fluttering endlessly. So that was a tanka prose, and you hear the prose. I usually like to put them at the end.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I wrote it yesterday, but I saw your dog, Mo, and I decided to read this. It's kind of childish, but here I go.
Okay.
It's called A Short Life. You are 15 years old now, 105 in dog years. Bodhi, why do you have such a short life? Your black hair is turning gray. Your eyes have that gooey stuff dripping down the side. Yuji said he could tell you were old because of your eyes. And yet, you play like a puppy, running around the house, holding your little stuffed animals like a child. The purple one is your favorite. That's the one you take to bed when we all go to sleep together at night. Live in the present. Don't think these thoughts. But Tuesday is your surgery day. That bump on your head, is that cancer? Or do old dogs just get these bumps, just like us? Rosie said, as she shows me the bump on her dog's head, and then points to the liver spots next to her eyes. So don't worry, she says. We love you so much, my husband tells Bodhi every day. He's so corny after his second stroke. He hugs Bodhi all the time, carries him around in his arms, places a chair next to him at the dinner table so he can feed Bodhi my vegetarian lasagna I spent all afternoon making. Then he asked me to take a picture of the two of them together. He's my healer, Hideki says. He healed me. What about Jeannie, Dad? Hideki's son asks. Well, he loves me too.
Okay. Well, I'm a dog person, so I gotta doubly appreciate a poem.
Yeah, we're dog people.
We have a few of us on screen here that are dog people. Yes.
Yeah, Lawrence too.
And Jack has a French bulldog.
There he is, huh? Oh, I can't hear you, Jack, but
Okay.
I
All
say,
right. So,
my dog's asleep right now, and I'm going to say that quietly because I want him to stay that way.
uh-huh. Yeah, but I opened up tonight in the chat session with the lens on Bertha, who was sleeping next to my thigh. So I get you. You know, I get you on that.
Well, it's just, it's, peace now.
And people thought Bertha sitting in for me was an improvement, a visual improvement. So,
it definitely was.
I got these chat notes saying, you would do well to put Bertha back on screen.
You know what they say about, dog owners. And if it wasn't true before, it is now.
Yeah.
Is what? What did you say, Jack? That was a poem, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I like to tell people, guess which one? Every dog shall have its day.
Yeah.
Which, who am I speaking for? All right, number 3, Jeannie.
Okay, this one, I joined a poetry club where you write poems together and one puts one line, one puts the last line. So it's been kind of fun. Some of them are silly, but this one I'm ending it with, it's called a charita where we all contributed. The first are mine. And I call it Linus Grows. When I was a child, I sucked my right thumb, twisted my ear with my left thumb, my left hand. Linus on the run. But today I broke the sound barrier. Faster than the speed of light, elephants raised their trunk, and I fell in love with myself. In love with myself, I run my fingers through my hair, lick my lips, scratch my chin, stick my baby finger in my ear and twist it all around. Yet I know love is fleeting along with youth. One day young, next day gone. This is a common story. Then I thought of you. You must be playing pool somewhere. I've met so many people in my life. Come on in. You're all a part of me. I wish I could meet you one by one, but it would take up all my life. Jazz in the kitchen, soundscape to my life, and the beat goes on. My nails grow as I speak in the grave, each one a different color.
Ooh, okay.
Right.
Whoa, great outro, Jeannie. Okay, I
Thank you,
fell in
Jeannie.
love. I fell in love with myself. May we wish that on all of us. Okay, very nice. I get there for a moment and then it's fleetingly gone.
I know, that's fleeting.
If poets fall in love with themselves, they become very mediocre in their verse. Most poets have to be driven by some sense of insecurity or inadequacy, like many artists, and they make up for it in their brilliant expressions.
I'm certainly a jilted lover of myself.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, understandable. All right.
Yeah, thank you, Mo. Thank you.
I'm glad you understood. I thought this was a ridiculous poem, but
No, we
Okay.
feel ridiculous while other people go, wow, I'd like to say that. You know, civilians, I'd like to say that. Okay, so thank you, Jeannie Nakano from Los Angeles, and your dog and your husband, and all your good stories. Okay, so now wow, here we go again. We're going to cross the continent again from coast to coast and go to Atlanta and bring on Pablo. Hello, Pablo.
Hello, Mo. Hello, Angora Poets.
Hello.
Since It's the season of love. Love is in the air, and we've been talking about love and reading about love. I've decided to do 2 love poems, and I'll do a Creolese poem, which is Guyanese Creole. I know Mo always like that, so I want to make sure I fit one of my Creole poems in there. So the first one is titled Cupid Lives in Brooklyn, and it's the first poem I've ever written after school. I wrote poetry in school, in high school, but Cupid Lives in Brooklyn was inspired and a tribute to my wife, June. Happy Valentine's, honey. And she hails from Red Hook, Brooklyn. So
Red
Lydia, you
Hook.
probably
All
know.
right.
Yes.
Red Hook. Okay.
Yeah. Cupid lives in Brooklyn. Do you remember the feeling when you first saw her? Do you remember the fireworks when you first touched her? Brooklyn was heaven, and she was your angel. Eyes sparkling like the sky on the 4th of July, lips calling your name, hips challenging your game. She is the one, Cupid whispers in your ear. But you resist. Commitment's no fun. Counters the devil. But you persist. Feelings too strong to dismiss swept you into a world of heavenly marital bliss. Do you remember? Ayo. So that was Cupid Lives in Brooklyn.
All right. And may I ask you the obvious? It's a great poem, a great love poem, great tribute. Has your wife read that poem or listened to you recite it?
Oh yeah. She has. I back in my spoken word days in Atlanta, I did this quite a few times, and she was always there with me. Yeah.
That's
So
beautiful.
Great. She
Thank
must
you.
have felt
Thank you.
really good. That's great.
Yeah.
Number
Thank you
2,
so much.
Pablo.
Number 2 is titled I Believe. I believe in love and forgiveness and you, that in you beats a bleeding heart and a steady pulse, that you feel my pain when I am wronged, though we are untainted by familiarity or unshackled by common creed or color of skin. I believe in history and hope and me, that I am a gifted child of the universe, no better or worse than you. For like you, I too bleed and hurt and yearn for a brighter day, without the repulsive shadow of our divided past looming over every wrong move I make, dooming every great step I take. I believe in miracles and dreams and us, you and me, that we were meant to be. That unburdened by hate, unbridled by greed, our bleeding hearts are free to beat as one. One people, one world, one love.
Ooh, okay. Wow. We are off to a Valentine's romantic session here today. All right.
And now I'm gonna
3's a charm, Pablo.
3 is a charm. So this one is an ode to Carnival. Carnival in Trinidad is around the corner. And this one is titled in Creolese, Shake Your Bottom and Swear. The rhythm beat the blows away when music, rum, and fun come to tongue. The rubber strikes steel and play, a sweet ringing metallic soca sound. Pan man rip a solo like Stevie on keys. Drum boy rattle the skittle drum with relative ease. Jump and wine Wave your flag in the air, bump and grind, shake your bottom and swear. Let your long hair down, baby. This party is wet and wild. We gonna mash up the ground, honey. Stomping carnival style. Jump and whine, wave your flag in the air, bump and grind, shake your bottom and swear. Drink the liquor and dance. It's an all-night swing, baby. Bust a move, take a chance. Throw your head back and sing. Jump and whine, wave your flag in the air, bump and grind, shake your bottom and swear. Ayo.
Ayo, yo. Okay. And the carnival, I'm sorry, the carnival is in which city?
In Trinidad and Tobago,
Trinidad.
which is the island of Calypso and Soca. So
Right.
that's a very famous carnival. And then every island in the Caribbean, and Guyana not being an island, but a mainland country, the only mainland country in the Caribbean.
Right.
We all have carnival around the early part of the year, between January and I would say Easter.
Yeah.
We have a carnival season. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I would add the northern border of the Caribbean is also land-based, and that's New Orleans, which
There you
prides
go.
itself
There you
as
go.
being-
Oh, of course.
It self-declares itself as Caribbean culture adjusted for New Orleans. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people don't realize that a lot of the essence of New Orleans culture is Caribbean, brought up from slaves who
Absolutely.
were brought up from Haiti into New Orleans.
In Central America as well, in Costa Rica,
Mhm.
Honduras, Belize.
Yeah.
A lot of Jamaicans, came over. And I was pleasantly surprised that there's an island in Colombia where they're Creolese, English Creolese speaking. They sound like Jamaicans.
Really?
But they were able to preserve, they didn't assimilate into the Spanish culture.
Mhm.
And so they barely speak English.
Mhm.
So I have to look it up. I'll share it with the group next week.
Okay.
Yeah, so
and in Nicaragua, in Central America, the Atlantic coast of Nicaragua is lived in by native Nicaraguan people, and
right.
the predominantly Black population lives on the Atlantic coast, and they speak English.
Correct.
A very
It's fascinating.
Yeah, it's not Oxford or Yale English. It's a very interesting English. So that happens in Nicaragua as well. Two nations in terms of culture.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
It's fascinating. Yeah.
And
thank you. So
their main city is called Bluefields.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, Bluefields.
Okay.
Okay, so you got something in common there, huh?
Absolutely.
With what you mentioned about with Colombia. Okay.
Absolutely. I got you going there.
You got me going. And I'm with you. I'm rooting for the Bengals, and I'm with Dave.
Yes.
It's the year of the Tiger, and that's all I wanted to say about that.
All right. Thank you,
I hope
sir.
we're both smiling at 4. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Pablo. And we do look forward to your sightless Guyanese friend. He's got a flu this week. He come on next week, and we have 2 poets, from Guyana, originally from Guyana. That'll be very nice.
That would be great. Yeah, I'll definitely try to get him on.
Yeah.
But if you don't see me in the second round, you know where I am, right, Mo?
Yeah, I get it. You're making I get it. I get it real well. Okay. Well, thank you, Pablo. Thank you very much. Okay,
thank you, poets.
Thank you.
This looks contrived, but once again, we're going to swing to the other side of the continent, and we're going to go to San Francisco, and we're going to bring on Dharma Dave. David Wilson, you're on, baby.
Okay. Great to be here. And rather than read 3 poems, I love the format of our show, but sometimes we just do one piece. So I'm just going to read a couple of pages of prose for the first round. And this is from The Great Shark Hunt by Hunter S. Thompson.
Whoa.
And to set the piece, it's around dawn on Super Bowl Sunday, 1974. And the good doctor is in his hotel on the 20th floor of the Houston Hyatt Regency Hotel. The silence at the other end of the line was beginning to make me nervous, but I could feel the sap rising. So I decided to continue my sermon from the balcony. And I suddenly realized that somebody was beating on my door. Jesus God, I thought, it's the manager. They've come for me at last. But it was a TV reporter from Pittsburgh, raving drunk and demanding to take a shower. I jerked him into the room. Never mind the goddamn shower, I said. Do you realize what I have on my spine? He stared at me, unable to speak. A giant leech, I said. It's been there for 8 days, getting fatter and fatter with blood. He nodded slowly as I led him over to the phone. I hate leeches, he muttered. That's the least of our problems, I said. Room service won't send any beer up until noon, and all the bars are closed. I have this wild turkey, but I think it's too heavy for the situation we're in. You're right, he said. I got work to do. The goddamn game's about to start. I need a shower. Me too, I said, but I have some work to do first, so you'll have to make the call. Call? He slumped into a chair in front of the window, staring out at the thick gray mist that had hung on the town for 8 days. Except now, as Super Sunday dawned, it was thicker and wetter than ever. I gave him the phone. Call the manager, I said. Tell him you're Howard Cosell and you're visiting up here with a minister in 2003. We're having a private prayer breakfast and we need 2/5 of his best red wine with a box of saltine crackers. He nodded unhappily. Hell, I came here for a shower. Who needs the wine? It's important, I said. You make the call while I go outside and get started. He shrugged and dialed O while I hurried out to the balcony, clearing my throat for an opening run at James 2:19. Beware, I shouted, for the devils also believe and tremble. I waited for a moment, but there was no reply from the lobby 20 floors down. So I tried Ephesians 6:12, which seemed more appropriate. For we wrestle not, I screamed, against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. Yes, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Still, there was no response except the booming echoes of my own voice. But the thing on my spine was moving with new vigor now, and I sensed that there was not much time. All movement in the lobby had ceased. They were all standing still down there, maybe 20 or 30 people. But were they listening? Could they hear? I couldn't be sure. The acoustics of these massive lobbies are not predictable. I knew, for instance, that a person sitting in a room on the 11th floor with the door open could hear with unnerving clarity the sound of a cocktail glass shattering on the floor of the lobby. It was also true that almost every word of Greg Allman's Multicolored Lady played at top volume on a dual speaker Sony TC-126 in an open door room on the 20th floor could be heard in the NFL press room on the hotel mezzanine. But it was hard to be sure of the timbre and carrying power of my own voice in this cavern It sounded to me like the deep screaming of a bull elk in the rut. But there was no way to know for sure if I was really getting through. Discipline, I bellowed. Remember Vince Lombardi. I paused to let that one sink in, waiting for applause, but none came. Remember George Metzke, I shouted. He had discipline. Nobody down in the lobby seemed to catch that one, although I sensed the first stirrings of action on the balconies just below me. It was almost time for the free breakfast in the Imperial Ballroom downstairs, and some of the early rising sports writers seemed to be up and about. Somewhere behind me, a phone was ringing, but I paid no attention. It was time, I felt, to bring it all together. My voice was giving out, but despite the occasional dead spots and bursts of high-pitched wavering, I grasped the railing of the balcony and got braced for some flat-out raving. Revelations 20:15, I screamed. Say hallelujah. Yes, say hallelujah. People were definitely responding now. I could hear their voices full of excitement, but the acoustics of the place made it impossible to get a good fix on the cries that were bounding back and forth across the lobby. Were they saying hallelujah? 4 more years, I shouted. My friend General Haig has told us that the forces of darkness are now in control of the nation, and they will rule for 4 more years. I paused to sip my drink, then I hit it again. And Al Davis has told us that whoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. I reached around behind me with my free hand slapping at a spot between my shoulder blades to slow the thing down. How many of you will be cast into the lake of fire in the next 4 years? How many will survive? I have spoken with General Haig, and at this point, I was seized by both arms and jerked backwards, spilling my drink and interrupting the climax of my sermon. You crazy bastard, a voice screamed. Look what you've done. The manager just called. Get back in the room and lock the fucking door. He's going to bust us. It was the TV man from Pittsburgh trying to drag me back from my pulpit. I slipped out of his grasp and returned to the balcony. This is Super Sunday, I screamed. I want every one of you worthless bastards down in the lobby in 10 minutes so we can praise God and sing the national anthem.
All
Thanks for listening.
right. Hunter S. Thompson. Woo. Okay. Rebel with a cause, his own cause.
Yeah. He was also probably our most shrewd political observer, perhaps, or among them of the last century.
He's among them, right? And the Steelers won that Super Bowl. I'm originally from Pittsburgh. We were the underdog that finally went to a Super Bowl, like the Bengals today.
I loved all the Miltonic allusions, to the principalities and orders of angels.
Yeah.
Well, it was a sermon,
Yeah.
Okay, Dave, is that your so
that was my first round contribution, and it's a little bit out of the ordinary, but I like that we have some flexibility to be able to do that once in a while.
Sure we do. We have flexibility. So thank you for that contribution. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, David. That was great reading.
Okay. Now, Nursel. Hello, Nursel. So let me go to Nursel's poetry. And begin to read her first poem. Okay. First of all, she sends a note. Hello, Angora Poets, my poet friends. How are you? This week I shared Mo's literary text very much. I surprised him. I am very happy that Turkish people like, wow, this is very self-gratifying. Thank you, Narcel. I appreciate it. Don't need to read it to the end. I might confuse and love myself. Okay, so let's go to Narcel's poetry. Let's see, here we go. Okay, here we go, Narcel. Dream Fairy. Okay, Narcel, Dream Fairy. Do you remember you were a little girl?
Okay.
Excuse me? Do you remember?
Mo, your audio is not good.
Really?
Okay.
Is it better now?
Is that me or is that everybody else not hearing him?
No, it's for everybody the same. I think.
Yeah,
We
I'm
can
not
hear your
hearing it.
voice.
Okay, but you heard me earlier. That's
Now
very
we
interesting.
hear you.
Now I hear
Now
you.
it's okay, but just
I have
before
such
no.
a cheap ass microphone and camera lens. I will try not to move my head. Do you remember when you were a little girl, ponytail hair, in love with the wind? You made love in cotton candy, freckled cheeks, your innocent lips, kite cloud, plum green
No
eyes.
good. No good. You're out again.
Oh, fuck this. Now, I think I'm gonna quit this group or buy a reasonable microphone. Now, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jesus fuck. I have a very nice laptop and every time I buy a plug-in mic and camera lens, they are not really compatible.
You were good up until recently. I don't know what happened, what you're doing different, but maybe how close you are to the mic or something.
Yeah, it is.
You were good right up until you started reading her poetry. That it blacked out as soon as you did that.
Because if I move ever so slightly, the microphone seems to fade. But let's try this again where I do not move. Okay, so let's try this again. Now, can I be heard? Hello?
Yes and no. You up until then, no, but yes, I heard that phrase loud and clear. So there's a slight difference of where you're positioning, maybe.
Here we go. I will try it without moving. Do you remember you were a little girl, ponytail hair, in love with the wind? She made love in cotton candy, freckled cheeks, your innocent lips, kite cloud, plum green eyes, butterfly hands, daisy hands. Your hands smell of purple violet. Dream of fairy in your heart. That was that from Narcel.
Mo, we heard about half of that.
Yeah.
Oh, well, this is fucked up because that's not right. And fuck this microphone. This, I don't care if I'm on screen or not. Now can you hear me with the goddamn microphone right in front of me?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna do this. Yeah, this is such a cheap device. All right.
Well, it kind of comes and goes. I'm not sure what to guide you on this.
I told you it's a cheap ass microphone.
Maybe if you move the paper that you're reading to where you can just look straight at us or something like that.
I'm not moving paper. I'm reading off the screen.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Okay.
Well, it was good up until just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, I heard you. Okay. Now we're going to do Narcel's second poem. And I hate to ask you again, but can I be heard clearly? Hello? Can I be heard clearly? I'm asking, can I be heard clearly?
It was muffled until the last sentence you just said. It was very muffled.
Oh, this is. Oh, I don't know what. Now can I be heard clearly?
That's
It is
good.
so weird. When you ask us that question, we can hear you. When you're not asking that question, you're gone.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Now I believe you can hear me clearly. This is called The Wizard by Nutshell Architect.
No, no good.
Muffled.
Oh, fuck this. I don't know. If it was my poems, I'd just bow out. I'm trying to get her in here.
I don't get why you were good all through this whole thing today. You were good up until reading from hers.
Yeah, isn't that a bitch? Okay. Now, don't. Jesus. Okay, here we go. Don't sleep in deep sleep. Shame on your eyelids. I stopped your blessed betrayal, one by one with the lotus flower. I'm bleeding with my unstopping tears. My voice is meticulously. The cut in my artery. Time bleeds. I myself became melancholic love in your morning. Wake up. Lovers also can be shocked in the middle of their eyebrows. You, the wizard, reaping the time to my love. Are you God? You know me. You threw me into the fire of hell alive. My voice rings so cold this tide. Fun and games on my knees. Hey, chaos, make lovers. However, I dig a well, but my needle, nobody knows I wake up to purple mornings. Love is a sad river. You can swim if you're not a lover. You can't. I was exiled from the heaven with my apple tree, covered by the clothes made of figs. I am bleeding without stopping in the tear of time, remembering I myself became a melancholic love in your morning. Wake up. Lovers also can be shocked in the middle of their eyebrows. How was that?
Thank you.
Did that come across people?
In the middle of her eyebrows. That's all I got.
Yeah, it was muffled. Hey, Mo, try something just a second here. Look directly, speak directly into the microphone versus wherever it was you were just speaking.
Well, that's what I was doing, you see. So it's just a cheap ass microphone.
We do better just to listen to Nursel recite in Turkish, because I got nothing out of that.
I'm sorry about that. Really sorry about that. Hear me clearly now.
No, move your head where it's in the where your face is in the camera, where you're speaking from that angle.
Yeah, okay. Like now?
No, even more towards the camera.
Well, the camera's right in front of me, so you see this is like fucked up.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, let's bring on Nursel. Nursel?
Okay.
This will be the wizard.
Diren Fayre. Düş perisi. Sesim geliyor mu? Mikrofon. Okey. Düş perisi. Hatırlar mısın? Küçük bir kızdım. At kuyruğu saçları. Rüzgara aşık. Pamuk şekerde sevişti. Çilli yanakların. Masum dudakların. Uçurtmam bulut, erik yeşili gözlerinde. Ellerin kelebek, ellerin papatya, mor violet kokar ellerin. Düş perisi yüreğinde. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. And now the next poem by Marcel.
The Wizard.
Hmm?
The Wizard.
That was good.
Evet,
Okay.
yes.
Now, Dream Fairy. Marcel. Dream Fairy.
Dream,
Dream Fairy.
Dream Fairy. Okudum,
Mm-hmm.
okudum. The Wizard. Uyuma derin uykularda. Göz kapaklarına yazık. Kutsanmış ihanetlerinizi soyundum. Birer birer lotus çiçeğiyle. Kanıyorum durmadan iç gözyaşlarıma. Sesim kırılır inceden inceye. Atar damar kesi zaman kanar. Sabahlarına hüzünlü bir aşk oldum. Uyan. Aşkları da vururlar. İki kaşının ortasından. Sevdama ömür biçen büyücü. Tanrı mısın sen? Yaşarken beni cehennem ateşine atarsın. Çınlar sesim, ay metcezir. Dizelerimde samanlık seyran. Samanlık sevişenin. Oysa iğneyle kuyu kazarım ben. Kimse bilmez mor sabahlara uyandığımı. Aşk ki hüzünlü bir ırmak. Yüzemez aşka yar olmayan. Sürüldüm cennetten elma ağacıyla. İncir ağacından giysilerin. Kanıyorum durmadan zamanın gözyaşlarına. Kanıyorum, kanıyorum, kanıyorum. Sabahlarına hüzünlü bir aşk oldum. Uyan, aşkları da vururlar. İki kaşının ortasından. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcel. Very nice. And now for Marcel's third poem.
Erguvan.
Number 3. Allez, go, Marcel. It's you.
Erguvan.
See, yes, Ergeva.
Yes. Ardı sıra eksiliyor güllerin güzellikleri. İbadet ediyorum kederle, erguvan düşlere. Arz ederim ey hayat, behtat etme beni. Göğsümde inceden bir sızı. Sessiz kanar bir bülbül çığlık çığlığa. Ormandan kuş sesleri topladım merhem diye. Eksik yaşanmış bir aşk kanar kalbimde. Ey benim leylak dokunuşlu yalnızlığım. Ey benim leylak okunuşlu yalnızlığım. Gözlerinden öperim. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcel. Thank you. Okay, so what I will do is refer to some of Marcel's lines in the summary tonight. It's the best I can do, given how bad this microphone is. Okay. Thank you, Marcel. Thank you.
Thank you, Angora Poets.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you, Mo.
You're welcome. And I'm very honored that Marcel has asked me to write the foreword to her upcoming poetry book. So I'm very, very honored to do that since I'm her fan. Okay, now we would like to go from Istanbul to the U.S. Canadian border, where there seems to be a lot of convoy activity, and bring on our poet, Joe Kidd. Hello, Joe.
Thank you, Mo. Thank you, everybody. I love listening to poems while they're being spoken in the tongue that they're written in. That's fascinating to me. I just love to hear that. Beautiful. All right, I'm gonna. First of all, I hope I'm not coming in too strong. I don't know how to set this microphone either, but I was thinking about a couple of things before we came on, and then I saw your dog sleeping on the couch. So I have a poem. I'm going to come out of my book. I'm not going to read from the book today. I'm going to read some newer things, and the first one is called "Dogs from Outer Space." Dogs from outer space. Dogs from other worlds. Dogs of every shape, size, color, and temperament. They ride bicycles. They walk on two legs. They understand all the languages. They chew gum. They go fishing. They chase horses and pumas. They chase dolphins. They like warm planets. They like to be hand-fed. Dogs from outer space don't believe in anything. They never fall in love. Dogs from outer space will kill you without regret or drag you to safety from the exploding volcano. They can smell trouble. They can identify you with their space nose. Dogs from outer space taught the whirling dervish. They live in round buildings. They sleep on the porch. They travel in saucers. Dogs from outer space are posers. If you see one, take its picture and then run like hell.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Dumb
That's
little
a deep.
I like it.
Joe, I gotta
Silly.
I
Anyway,
gotta say that's a departure from your usual expression. That was cool.
yeah, it is.
Number 2, Joe Kidd.
Number 2 is called Iguana with a Grasshopper in its Mouth. My grandmother ate grasshoppers. She caught them, canned them, and set them out on the back porch. She made dandelion salad with green leaves and bouquets for her little wooden table with the yellow flowers. We picked them from the hillside. We ran away from cameras. We prayed rosaries in the dim light of the red votive candles. An old man was still alive. Green and brown skin sewn together in patches blanketed his old brown and green fossils. He said to me, "You can catch insects with your tongue, swallow them, feel them buzzing as they go down, bursting with vitamins." He was my monster, my living dinosaur. He was a scientist, discovering. I saw it all. I saw him scratch the middle of his own back. He was a bowler. He stood up on his hind legs, put on his helmet, and told me not to move, stopping at the water's edge. And I wait for him still.
Okay, another dog poem. All right.
Now this one is, go ahead.
I want to Joe, I want to momentarily congratulate you on recent news that you and your partner, is it Sheila, right?
Yes.
Were admitted into this Michigan Music Society or something, some
A couple
honorable
of things. Yeah, the Michigan Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Wow.
And also this year we've been nominated for about, I don't know, half a dozen maybe Detroit Music Awards. That just happened a couple of days ago. So yeah, we've been fortunate, and we've been busy though. It's a lot of work, day and night, always on the computer, always recording. Right now we're in the middle of cutting the demos for a new music album that's hopefully we'll have it out maybe by summer. We're going to be appearing at a bunch of festivals around the country, so we want to have some new stuff ready when we go out. It's been a long couple of years, so we've had some time to write and practice and just hang out at home and do things. We just came from I know Lawrence is in Texas. We just came back from Houston, and we played some music in Houston. We played some music in Austin, and we stopped over in Texarkana on the way back home. So that was a fun trip. We did that in about a week. We drove down there and drove back. But anyway, I'm going to read one more.
Three's a charm, Joe.
Now this is a letter, the final letter from God to the human race. And just about, when you've just about had it, you're up to here, you're done trying. The Dalai Lama says never give up, but sometimes you just got to turn away. And this is God. This is God's take on this. It's called An Epic Journey in a Short Time. How dare you, you little puffs of smoke, you handful of dirt. How dare you, bubbles of piss, ever consider denying me, challenging my love, my mercy, my charity, my communion? What in your misshapen, malfunctioning brains has given you the idea that you might even interpretate anything I have created or intended? I have offered you so many gifts, bore you into paradise, given you eternal happiness and eternal life, shown you my universal love and how you may employ it. I have given you, forgiven you, protected you, allowed you to pervade a beautiful planet and all of its inhabitants. I have sent my messengers to assist your progression, to save you from your own self-destruction. I have provided every tool needed for peace, beauty, and truth. I've hidden in plain sight from your fear and anger. I have listened to your constant begging for that which has no form or substance. I have dwelled in Elysium, Olympus, Empyrean, Valhalla, Shangri-La, Zion, Nirvana, Moksha, all of your heavens, all within your grasp. One by one, you have assassinated my ambassadors. Inch by inch, you have destroyed my property. Day by day, you have divided the treasures of creation into great bounties for the privileged few. You have slaughtered those who have seen my face, and you have turned my kingdom into a slum. I am the God of the ancients, Jupiter, Zeus, Amun-Ra, Ahura Mazda, Melkart, Marduk, Quetzalcoatl. They did not die. It was the temporary civilizations who gave me names in their native tongue that were the casualties of time. I have annihilated you so many times, allowed you to annihilate yourselves in war, disease, pollution, cruelty, violence, and starvation, always leaving a chosen few as a glimmer of hope and good faith. Not once was any lesson learned, and so shall you follow. I leave you now unto your own demise. No more saviors, no more rescues, no more covenants. It is finished. No more rainbows.
Okay. Take heed, people. Take heed. Well, you have assassinated all my ambassadors. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Joe. Thank you. And I'm glad we could hear you quite clearly.
I hope I wasn't too loud.
No, you came across quite clear.
Thank you all. Thank you, brothers and sisters. Thank you so much.
And good luck on the voting for,
Thanks. Yeah. You know what? I feel like I've already won being part of this Angora Poet thing. It's just, this is such a great honor and great privilege. And I'm going to bring Sheila in one of these days, and we're going to have her do some of her things as well. So thank you again.
And we're ready to hear you and Sheila perform one of your songs as well.
We could do that. Yeah,
that would be quite appropriate for Angora. You can do your songs. Other people have done them.
Yeah, they're all short. They're 3 minute. Okay, we'll do it. You got a date.
That'd be great. Okay. Thank you, Joe Kidd. And now we're going to go. Wow, here we go. Another great distance. We're going to go from Detroit, Michigan, down to Central Texas and bring on Lawrence Mayfield. Hello, Lawrence.
Hello, is my mic on?
Yes.
Okay. A couple of comments I'd like to make before getting started. First of all, with your camera directly on your face like that, Mo, hearing you loud and clear.
But you got to have my face. That's the problem.
Yeah. Okay. To Joe, I don't know where you played in Austin. I used to live there, real fond of the Austin area. And to the comment about Greg Allman and Multicolored Lady, that Laid Back album was one of the highest quality recordings of the 70s, in my opinion. And I've recorded a few songs. My first book, A Whisper Shadow Apart, has a soundtrack of 16 songs. If anybody that cares to look up A Whisper Shadow Apart, Larry Mayfield, you can hear 16 songs online.
Well, put the link on. And Joe, everybody put your links on so we can follow you.
Okay. All right. Lydia and I were published in a literary journal in 2019. And it was called the Langdon Review of Arts in Texas. And anyway, what I'm going to read will evolve, will be a part of the evolution of my friendship with Lydia over the years. The first I'm going to read is, we were all required to answer the question, why I write. Some thoughts come slithering like a snake through the grass, only a glimpse of slender movement, camouflage in nature, ambiguous silence. Ideas written in spontaneity to awaken, quickly be the task of turning on the bedside lamp, reaching for eyeglasses, fumbling for a pencil always kept on a nearby nightstand. The composition journal ready for another entry of graphite gliding along, scratching the surface, focusing on a trailing remnant of being reunited as if it were for real with my dad, who was lost in time in 1976. Just before jotting down those first words, to doze off in search of continuing that same dream to be with you again, Dad, fishing at the river, listening to your voice that still resounds in memory, and such be the dream so vivid and alive that knows not constraint. where a place in space can be abstract, and it not matter or seem the least bit strange to be playing catch baseball smacking into your leather glove just seconds before picking up a snake that suddenly straightens, mortifies, a writing utensil bearing fruit. Timeless, so it seems. But then to awaken again, empty page on my chest, pencil roll off, and lost down in the sheets somewhere. Yet I know that dream slipped back through a portal because I can still feel its strength in my heart and mind, and to sense those thoughts will eventually resurface, to have another chance to relive, but this time to not ask why when choosing the path of dream dosing, instead to write you down as a spiritual healing.
Okay. All right. Another tribute. Tribute night. Yes.
Okay, this
Oh.
next one is called Time Capsules. This is about when I first became friends with Lydia. Reach into the webbing of a vast internet unknown. Time capsules scattering through the universe. Discovery of Poet Inscribed by Lydia Percy, a woman who I would later attribute to being the most influential of any on my ability to write with poetic flair. Our interaction begins first through email and text, progressing to occasional letters with a preference of telephone, as we continue to have daily life intertwined. An abstract interlude, reading just finished pieces of spoken word poetry on the phone. We offer constructive commentary on each other's work. Her journey of poems through a subway window of constant change, the inner sanctum of New York City emerging. Observations of a fast frame camera captured, a style morphing into mine, adapting her mastery of inflections into Whitman-esque ramblings on nature, somewhat of a modern day, Thoreau-roused, contemplative approach. Years keep rolling by, conversations progressive, the both of us with proud and frequent exclamations on parenting. She becomes a grandmother. In 2009, my mother has a stroke and I retired to be a caregiver. Years later, Lydia's mother has a stroke, and likewise a caregiving role begins. Our bond strengthens through mutual interests, music and writing, our minds in tune, in harmony. An interest in old-style manual typewriters by both, after describing Lydia to my lifelong friend, Dr. William B. Martin, former head of the English department at the local university. He graciously donates a typewriter that was his father's, who was a newspaper man, as a gift to Lydia for inspiration. In 2019, an opportunity arises for the both of us to participate as contributors to the same publication, the Langdon Review of the Arts in Texas, a literary journal. 15 years have passed since we first communicated. 15 years. Becoming multifaceted pen friends. And as fate would have it, on the day of our first face-to-face meeting, we are sharing our poetry together on the same stage.
All right. Yeah. Well, I didn't know
Now,
that. I knew you and Lydia were friends, but what do you say, Lydia?
Thank you, Larry. Thank you.
Wow.
So what happened was, over the years, we would share our poetry. And I've done some proofreading and editing and so forth. And I'd asked Lydia to work together, and she repelled because we all have our own dreams and so forth. But then one time she read me this poem about nostalgia in New York City, and it was about Frank Sinatra. And when she got done, I asked one question. I said, what kind of hat was he wearing? And she knew what I meant. She said, okay. So we continued to work together. This one is called Finding the Fedora. All those two-way callback conversations, late night easy chair, early morning coffee rings. I know that you write beautifully. Poems that exemplify creativity, jotting down whispers, links between writing and spoken word, your voice. When you recite poetry, it's like a soothing lotion settling, a comforting poultice adhering. Beyond lover's embrace, Plato's philia of cognitive mind stream, ideas of word flow converge, collectively forming continuance as infinite as my mind, continuing to hear your inflections and cadence, sparking memories of days gone by. When one night I fished a fedora out of a sea of thoughts, the Odyssey of Poseidon meeting the Greek goddess Amphitrite, and you eloquently typed that word, fedora, placing a hat on Sinatra's head as he sped through New York City in a convertible of red, crooning nostalgia. Those were the days to recall, and I will, as long as possible, remember you, a woman of words, lyrical, verbal virtuoso, Apollo's muse. Never met anyone who could pluck such ideas out of fields of fathoms from nowhere and arrange them as perfectly as flowers in a vase, budding roses inspiring me to enjoy the fragrance and remember finding a treasured word floating just below the surface. Let us continue the call on and on, finding the fedora.
Okay, yeah. It is, one thing that makes me very happy, and I think many others, is there's Dharma Dave and Muriel are working together between New York and San Francisco, and Trish Camp and Dane Entz from UK and San Francisco, respectively, who are on Angora Poets. They got married this weekend. They met online here, and 2 years later now they got married this weekend. So things go on. It's great. We're not only getting each other published, but other nice things are going on in this group as well.
And one last thing, Lydia and I were both accepted to another publication of poems about wine. And so we're working on an idea of trying to get together again because we will be a touring poetry group from winery to winery.
Ooh.
Wow. And free wine.
Real winos.
Well, what can I say?
Okay. Thank you, Lord. Hey, and good luck to you and Lydia for your collaborations. That's really nice to hear about that. Really
Thanks,
nice.
Mo.
And Martin has been translating a couple people. Our Angora poet, Martin Rosick, has been translating, was it Caroline, I think. So it's been really nice how we're interworking with one another because we're all fine poets. So nobody's getting a break. Everybody's getting a compliment. And I'm really proud to be part of a group like this. And I'm really proud now to stay in the middle of the continent and go to Kansas City. Here we come. We're going to Kansas City to hear Leticia Hollenberg. Hello, Leticia.
How are you?
Good to hear you. Good to see you.
You ready?
We're ready.
Is everybody ready?
We're ready.
Okay. I'm going to channel Carolina, because I like the way she reads. Can you hear me, Caroline? Flourless chocolate cake. I don't bite it. I suck it. It melts on my tongue, in my mouth. Flourless chocolate cake. The paper napkins flutter away. I get up to fetch some. When I come back, the cake is all gone. Flourless chocolate cake. I lick my fingers. I bite my nails. Is there really no more? I see no trace. Flourless chocolate cake.
Yes.
Wow.
All right. Woo. Short and sweet, Leticia. Short and sweet. And no pun on the chocolate. Okay. Number 2, please.
A fountain of laughter, a spigot of joy, your teeth open wide. I put my hand in, my whole body follows. A fountain of laughter, a spigot of joy, your teeth open wide, and I put my hand in, and that train, that train just keeps coming again and again.
Yes, it does. Woo. Okay, we talked about trains here. Leticia was on board earlier, and she actually turned on her mic when a freight train was going by. And man, that brought me home. Thanks for that one. Okay, number 3 is a charm, Leticia.
Airy fairy and nonchalant, I wish I could go that way. Light and dust, I will float someday, someday, someday.
Someday. Okay, another one, short and sweet. Thank you, Leticia. Very nice work. I'm glad you decided to come on. She was mentioning she felt unable to work a Zoom screen, with poetic passion. And we understand that, but you surely come across very well, even though you're on a Zoom, Leticia.
It's more about I need to feel you guys, and I can't reach through the screen. I need to, I'm used to open mic and live audience. That's what I thrive on. This week, I may try that for the first time in like 7 months.
Okay. Well, you're certainly provocative in a poetic, sexy, erotic, artistic way. And then you do movement art. So I imagine live doing your expression vocally and through movement. That's quite a show, Leticia. Quite a show. You have to video some of it so we can see it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be worth it. And what do you think, Caroline? Did she do a good job of emulating your way of great? That's just great. Okay, so Benedicta, are you there, Benedicta? Hello, Benedicta. Well, while we're waiting for Benedicta, calling Benedicta, let's bring on Carolina from, wow, we're actually going to settle in Paris, France for this poet. Okay, Carolina.
So, I found 3 poems. One from, 2 in Spanish. One of Federico García Lorca. The second one of Juan Gelman from Argentina. But I think he wrote it in France because he was a refugee, political refugee. And another one in French, or no, maybe I've got it in Spanish also. No. Well, let's begin with one in French.
Give us a brief explanation.
This is a very romantic poem. Well, I tried to write a very beautiful poem about the ISIS of someone I loved, and every time there was something happening and disturbing me, and I couldn't find the word because I had to eat or do something else. So that's it. It's
Okay, let's hear it.
trying to be romantic.
Come on, on y va en français, voilà.
Ton regard. Je voulais écrire un poème sur la beauté de ton regard. Et puis j'ai voulu égoutter les pattes. Mon chausson s'est pris dans le pied de la chaise. Je me suis retournée pour l'attraper avec les orteils et égoutter les pattes. Je voulais écrire un poème sur la beauté de ton regard. Et puis le CD s'est arrêté. J'ai entendu les oiseaux chanter. Les pâtes étaient chaudes. Je les ai mangées. Je voulais écrire un poème sur la beauté de ton regard. Je pourrais dire l'effet qu'il me fait, mais c'est jamais pareil. Si j'y arrivais, ce serait tellement intime que je ne pourrais pas le lire ici. Je voulais écrire un poème sur la beauté de ton regard. De toute façon, je trouve pas les mots. Il les déborde tous. Ce serait sombre et profond, comme la nuit, et doux aussi. Tout l'univers en germe, et toi, et moi, tout un reflet. So, that's the first one.
Merci, merci. L'expression d'amour.
Another one from Federico García Lorca, from El Cantejondo. It's called La Lola.
And a brief explanation, please.
They are in down sous un oranger, down an orange tree. And he's speaking about a woman, beautiful woman, down an orange tree. La Lola. Bajo el naranjo lava pañales de algodón. Tiene verdes los ojos y violeta la voz. Ay, amor, bajo el naranjo en flor. El agua de la acequia iba llena de sol y el olivarito cantaba un gorrión. Ay, amor, bajo el naranjo en flor. Luego, cuando la Lola gaste todo el jabón, vendrán los torerillos. Ay, amor, bajo el naranjo en flor.
Bonita, muy bonito, muchas gracias. García Lorca. Voilà. Okay, and your 3 is a charm, Carolina.
It's another love poem because tomorrow it's Valentine's Day, so I chose love poems tonight. Fábricas del Amor.
And who is the author? Are you, or who is the author?
Juan Gelman. He's he's from Argentina, but I think he wrote it maybe in France because he wrote a lot of poems here. He was refugee. So it's the second part of a poem called Fábricas del Amor. Fabrics of love, maybe.
Or making love as a concept, you know.
It's a very
an act.
Yes, it's for create. C'est fábricas. Una fábrica, c'est une usine.
Is to make. Well, it's also a factory, right? Okay.
Alza tus brazos. Ellos encierran a la noche. Desátala sobre mi sed. Tambor, tambor, mi fuego, que la noche nos cubra con una campana, que suene suavemente a cada golpe el amor. Entiérrame la sombra, lávame con ceniza, cávame del dolor, límpiame el aire. Yo quiero amarte libre. Tú destruyes el mundo para que esto suceda. Tú comienzas el mundo para que esto suceda.
Okay. Short and sweet. Yes. Thank you, Caroline. Thank you.
It's an absolute love. It's wow.
Yeah, it is. Okay. All right. Well then, let's say thank you to Carolina. Appreciate that in French and Spanish. A lovely voice in both languages. And now we will go. Okay. Now I'm trying to get Benedicta in here. Are you online, Benedicta?
Hi, Mo. Yes, I'm online.
Okay, welcome, Benedicta. Now we're traveling from Paris to Ghana in the west coast of Africa. So let's hear Benedicta. You're on, Benedicta.
Okay, thank you so much. So the first poem I read, am I audible?
Very.
Okay. Holding on at a glance, a view of landscape, outwardness in narrowed shapes and sizes, choices and precision, the probability count of chances and luck, who thrives, who wins, the size of the past and the now, tainted, the tumult of undisclosure. That's the first one.
Thank you. All right. Very nice. Thank you. And number two, please.
Number two is a monocle. I read, the twisted clashes of an unabated argument. I take it again.
Please.
The twisted clashes of an unabated argument. That's the second one.
Okay. Thank you. And how about three is a charm?
Okay. So the third one is a haiku. And I read, murmurs and rhythms, indented phrases, the fibers that clutch in tiptoes. That's the
Again,
third
please.
one.
Yeah, please again.
Murmurs and rhythms, indented phrases, the fibers that clutch in tiptoes.
Okay. Thank you. And how are you doing?
Oh, not bad at all.
Mm-hmm. Okay, glad to hear that. Mm-hmm. What?
Not long ago. So I'm quite long ago, so I might not stay for long.
Okay. Well, we're glad you're here for this period anyway, Benedicta.
Yeah, I enjoyed all the poems. Everything was right on point.
Yeah, I would agree on that. Okay, well, thank you, Benedicta. And now we will move on to our next poet. We will return to Paris, France. Okay, we will return to here in Paris and bring on the co-publisher, co-editor of Poets Wear Prada, and that would be a poet in his own right, would be Jack Cooper. Hello, Jack.
Hello, Mo. Hello, everyone. I have a chorus here.
Okay.
So, he's quiet for the moment. So I have a poem called Daybreak. Toward morning, the sidewalk listens. Coming and going reduces to solitary. Even cars passing do so by themselves. To vélo, trottinette, scooter, and loud motorbed. Some truck unloads. The night bus offers questions. And a single pedestrian, on occasion, remains in thought. Deadpan. Tony, shut up. Sorry. Deadpan, the paving stones, somnolent, the sky, still, silent, suspenseful, pensive. Awakened, The world will resume its new day, indistinguishable from the one before, the same, but different and more. Everything going, coming away.
Okay, everything going and coming away. That sounds about right. Real right. And number 2, Jack.
All right, let's see, I gotta get it here. It's quite short, and it's called Nightfall. Let's see. Pardon the chorus here. Nightfall. Pain of memory, following like footsteps, echoing. Trace the empty street out of sight, soundless.
Yeah. Would you do those last lines again?
Yeah.
Please.
Let's see. Trace the empty street out of sight, soundless.
Yeah, that's right. I have traced some empty streets out of sight. I can totally relate to that. Great. How about Three's a Charm?
Okay.
Get it in before Tony gets upset.
Yeah, he's wandered off.
Oh, okay.
This is very short. It's called Parabola. You know, the figure that goes like this.
Okay.
2 directions. Light in the trees, tulip mostly, ascending the avenue either way, having gently touched them, now as suddenly vanishes, leaving only faint recall.
Okay. Only faint recall. Nice work. Thank you, Jack.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
It's great, Jack.
Okay.
Hello, Benedicta.
Hi, Jack.
Say
I like
hi.
the part of the faint recall.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
It says
Thank
a
you.
lot. So thanks.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Now, I hate to bug you, but can I be heard clearly now?
Yes. Yes.
Good. Because now I'm going to read Narcelle's poems now that I can be heard clearly and they can be done justice to. So the one poem that she read was called Ergavan, and it goes like this, and it is by Narcelle Ertevin. Ergavan. The beauty of the roses is decreasing one after the other. I worship purple dreams with sorrow. I pray, oh life, do not make me miserable. A thin ache in my chest. A nightingale bleeds silently. Screaming, I collected bird sounds from the forest of an ointment. An incompletely lived love bleeds in my heart. Oh, my lilac, pronounced loneliness, I kiss your eyes. Wow, thank you, Narcelle. Okay, and now the other poem that Narcelle read, it's called Dream Fairy. Do you remember you were a little girl, ponytail, in love with the wind? She made love in cotton candy, freckled cheeks, your innocent lips, kite cloud, plum green eyes, butterfly hands, daisy hands, your hands, smell of purple violet, dream fairy in your heart. Well, thank you, Narcelle. And the third poem that she read was called The Wizard. And it goes like this. Don't sleep in deep sleep. shame on your eyelids. I stripped your blessed betrayal one by one with the lotus flower. What? Can't hear it? Can you all not hear?
Yes.
Well, okay. Let's just leave it at that. Me and my silly microphone. I'm glad you got to hear some of Nercel's work. I would mention that she is coming out with a collection of poetry, and I am very proud and complimented that she has asked me to write the foreword for that book. Because of the excellence of her work, I will gladly write a foreword to Nercel's book. So there we have that news. So here we are, several of us networking with others of us, even to the point of Trish Camp and Dane Ants getting married this weekend. So that's how that works. So let's take a pause now and come back in the second round where you will be asked to read 2 pieces. Okay? Can we do that?
Okay.
Definitely. We hear you, Mo.
Oh, good. So there we go. And I guess we just saw a picture of Jack's dog here. That's nice.
Yes, I've never seen it before.
Hmm?
Jack, what's his name?
Thank you very much.
He's a bully?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he's a year old now.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Is it already a year, Jack?
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
And I remember we live in the same city, right? Me and Jack, and we talk, And I remember when he was reticent or reluctant about whether he should get a dog. And as it turned out, the dog made a dog person out of Jack, as dogs will do. As dogs will do. That's great. That's great. Okay. Good. Wow. This has been so Valentine's Day is tomorrow. Jesus. Okay, I have to I did get a romantic note. So I'm going to keep that unnamed for the moment, but it was nice that I got a romantic note of a greeting. I was very happy about that. Very, very happy. So that's my part in it, and it was an unexpected surprise and very pleasant from far away. Far away. Made me want to dance. All right. Okay, so what else is going on? What do y'all have to say to one another? I'm going to get a drink of water, and I'm sure somebody can talk to somebody about what you just heard about somebody.
Oh, Benedicta, I'm teaching haiku at the college, El Camino College, and at the Japanese Cultural Institute in Gardena. And I'm doing a guest teaching at the Torrance Library in Torrance. So if you want to learn a little bit more about haiku, I put my email in chat. And they'll all be on Zoom except for the one in Torrance. So anyone can take it around the world, I believe, if we're on Zoom. So that's that.
Okay, that's fine.
That's good. Thank you.
Okay.
De rien.
And how about you, Dharma Dave? You're always into something. You're always into some kind of literary and spoken word mischief.
Well, I have there'll be another brand new Rorschach page coming out on February 22nd. I like numbers like 222, 2022, stuff like that. So I kind of time my stuff around that. And then I'm going to be, I'm very excited, going to be reading on Hate Street on March 1st is the featured with the 1428 Hate Street group.
Wow.
Cool. That's a cool San Francisco local group. So
Yeah, and
it's
legendary
going to be
Hate Street.
it's going to be a hybrid live in the cafe and plus Zoom reading.
Okay,
That's
congratulations.
kinda cool. Yeah, I'm happy about that.
Sono en avance, poeta. And how's Muriel doing?
I don't know, actually. I'm not really working with Muriel at the moment. Well, but,
Okay.
I
Is
hope
our
she's doing well. I hope she's doing well.
She is our poet from Harlem, originally from the Congo. And we haven't heard from her for a while. She says she's awfully busy and then also got ill.
Oh dear, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it wasn't debilitating, but she did send a message telling me that she was sorry she hasn't been on board for a while, that she's been really busy on Sundays. And then one day when she was preparing, she got ill, and it happens. But it wasn't, devastating illness, just one of those seasonal problems, I guess,
Quiet.
So that's how that's working.
Hey, Trot.
Yeah. Hey, dog sounds. We should get them to sing together. We should get Tony and Bertha on here together to do a duet.
Yeah.
Since so many Angoras are teaming up and collaborating.
Yeah, when I was a child, we had two dogs. We had a beagle and a Scottish Terrier. And what we would do during the day is they would, on their leads, we'd put the slip thing under the table on the patio, this thing. And when the 12 o'clock whistle blew, the beagle would, harmoniously do this. But then the Scottish Terrier would do the same thing, except with this incredible gravelly So I imagine that I don't know about Bertha, but Tony's got a deep baritone.
Yeah, so does Bertha.
Well, I can say, watching as this is unfolding today, that both Bertha and Tony are stars of the show today. So, and that will come through.
I didn't bring Bodie in. I should have brought him in.
Yeah, bring in Bodie. Bodie counts too,
Yeah,
bring the children on next,
I have an idea that it'd be nice as soon as next week if I put my camera lens on Bertha, Jack put his on Tony, and you and Jeannie, you put yours on Bodie, and this may seem odd to you, but keep them on the dogs, and then I'd love to see it on Dharma Dave's YouTube recording, like to see.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, we can
I think it'd be great.
Get a Zoom feed for each of them,
I can put Bertha in front. I can put the camera lens on Bertha as I did earlier. If you did that with Tony and Jeannie did it with Bodie, I think that would be very positively amusing to people.
Do that next week. Oh, and I am being featured in the International Poets for James Everett Jones in March.
Okay.
Myself and another woman. Her name is Mariko. She does traditional style tanka, and then my style is not traditional at all. But so he's putting us together. I forgot the date. I got to write my bio for it and all that stuff today. And I'll put it on.
Okay. Good for you, Jeannie. Good for you.
Thank you.
I have some. My news is rather different. When Paris opened its doors and let people out, into bars and cafes and so forth, I began singing on stages again. And it's been psychic relief to just go out and sing,
Oh,
just
man. Yeah.
let the song carry the value of the performance, So I've been very happy, and and build up this fan following again. I used to have one before COVID and all, singing a lot. To the Second round now. People ready? Can we do that? Let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wow, 10 of us in the second round. So let's repeat the order of which we began, which was Lydia. Lydia, you were first, and I invite you to come on now, please.
Oh, wait a minute.
I'd like to say one thing. I've enjoyed it. I don't have a full charge on my phone, and I don't know that I'll make it more than just a couple more of the poets, but I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Okay.
Really good to have you here, Lawrence.
Right.
Good to have you here, Lawrence. Okay, Lydia. It would be Lydia followed by Jeannie. Lydia,
I'm
Jeannie,
here. Yeah.
and Dorma Dave to prepare you. Okay, Lydia,
I have to
please.
go too, Mo.
Oh,
So,
Right.
okay.
So, okay. Well,
Yeah,
everybody
next
has to
time, Jeannie.
Okay, so let's do Lydia and Jeannie and Dave.
Okay.
I'm gonna do a short one.
Oh,
Didn't hear that, but
She says she has to go.
See you later,
Oh.
Benedicta.
Hi, Benedicta.
see you now.
Bye-bye.
Bye for now.
okay, I'll see you next week.
Okay,
I'm
bye.
quite exhausted. I have to prepare for work tomorrow, so I might not be able to concentrate well.
Okay, gotcha.
Next week.
Well, next week, the people who are pressed for time should let us know in advance, and you can start the second round first, and that way we can accommodate those who have to run.
True.
Okay, let's prepare for that next week. But right now, let's go to Brooklyn and hear Lydia. Hello, Lydia.
Hello. Now I'm trying to see. I'm getting my stuff together. I'm here. I'm here. I'll do a short one.
Okay.
This one is called Playing Me. So you playing me. I'll let you. I'll be your bass. I watch you hugging hips and flicking strings. Her name be bass. Your legs held her, stroking her neck. I in turn gave you my hips for the night. Mahogany, swirling around your hands, and suddenly you were dizzy. Cradled my man of jazz, we flowed like a straight line, and mused thoughts of Tupelo honey, and spreading kisses on brownie thighs. We folded our souls like covers round midnight, and I am your scented bouquet. So you smell me, you watch me, and I glow in the tangerine light, and listen to your version of Sketches of Spain.
Oh, yes, yes. Another one, short but sweet. All right.
Another one, let me see, I have a kind of short one.
And
Well,
Tupelo honey.
yes. Look, okay. This one's called Maybe This Time. I think I read this before, but I'll read it because I'm fumbling through papers. Just maybe this time. Maybe this time. She'll free these city streets beneath callous feet, burdened by concrete, sky tower, tenements, speckled pigeons perched, gray gutter rats dwindle from the light. There's something kind of beautiful here. Early rise yoke, yellow ball, east of Chinatown, off Broadway, bridge buckling down. The city is elusive. No ninjas, just chaotic Chinese chopped up into Bruce Lee videos. Winded chimes continue to twinkle, ring in dingy doorways. Stand nursing a plastic container of rice noodles and baby bok choy. Ribbons stream and twirl upwards. Inhale, blow and sip. It's a problem dawn soul leaving here. Breaks away from insanity, suicide, and sexual romper rooms. Maybe this time, just maybe this time, they'll let love win between the two of them. Through the whistle breeze across the bayou of Ante's youth, made of sugar tea and liquored lemonade, from a woman so free, you find the love in your food scented. She loved to taste colors, that of the moon and sun blood red pomegranate, some sunny, some blue as his mood, some black like a green tornado, others pink like tomorrow's promise to you. She loved the sound of his hard plucked guitar. She liked biting the bits of raw honey off his blackberry lips, kissing into broken French and conjured up in the dance in the Audubon beds of foxglove flowers. To the late noon, to swinging string freeing at the hem of her pinafore, flirting peaks of brown sweet thighs chasing after the moon in the Louisiana sky. Maybe this time, just maybe this time, she'll let love in. Maybe this time she'll let love win. Thank you.
Hey, knocked over 3 books listening to that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mo.
Okay, so now we want to go to Jeannie. Are you still there, Jeannie? No. Okay, then let's go to, all right, let's try and see if we can get Lawrence in before his battery dies. Is that okay, David?
Yep, that's fine.
Okay, Lawrence, come on in before your battery dies.
I will, but I don't mind not reading, but I will.
Well, it's your call.
Okay, I'll read. How about I read one?
Sure.
Okay, hold on. Let me get situated here. Okay. This one is, you know, I don't think I have to introduce it. Auschwitz pinned.
Mm.
Have I been captured and sentenced to isolation within what was once a free world? Bound to oneself, longing to be absent of subjection. Unrestricted, unobstructed, with no hindrance or restraint. Unoccupied, unimpeded, independent with privileges and rights. Auschwitz pinned.
Mm.
A life of a rider, a solitary confinement, an imprisonment of bare amenities unattended, seeking a voice of reason, not to be subdued by repressive force, no unjust treatment or oppressive control, standing up against racial, political, and religious persecution, becoming pinned down in an inkwell chamber, stripped, unclothed, naked values, facing a firing squad assembly in the dark, a clicking of pen, a cocking of rifle. One clicks to be free, the other not. Deprivation of individuality reveals resistant intelligence. Gypsy ideology seeking escape from atrocity. A concentration camp of words shackled and chained with no spacing, no punctuation, no beginning, no end. A pen in hiding, staying alive. With a heroine of adoration and admiration in seclusion, a frank diary perseveres to unify so that no forthcoming right ever stands a chance of squelching my entitlement to sustain the rights of religion and speech and the press. Could there be another pen amongst you to survive? When will it end? Auschwitz pinned. An execution of the once free, standing innocent, words processed like branded cattle corralled, holocaustic smoke-filled ideas with no future from historic pages turning to ashes, heading to the death chute compressed, a pen full of expectations suppressed. Today, I await my sentence.
Wow. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Larry.
Thank
Glad
you.
we got you in while you still had some battery power. Good.
Thank you. Yeah, it's getting pretty close. I'll hang on a couple more probably. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay. Well, now let's go to San Francisco and bring on Dharma Dave, David Wilson.
Okay, so I'm going to read another little excerpt from Hunter Thompson from Fear and Loathing at the Super Bowl. This is the previous year, 1973, the year before his sermon in Houston. It starts with a quote. When the great scorer comes to write against your name, he won't ask whether you won or lost, but how you played the game. Grantland Rice, who was known prior to his death in the late 50s as the Dean of American sports writers. They came together on a hot afternoon in Los Angeles, howling and clawing at each other like wild beasts in heat. Under a brown California sky, the fierceness of their struggle brought tears to the eyes of 90,000 God-fearing fans. They were 22 men who were somehow more than men. They were giants, idols, titans. They stood for everything good and true and right in the American spirit, because they had guts and they yearned for the ultimate glory, the great prize, the final fruits of a long and vicious campaign. They were hungry for it. They were thirsty. For 20 long weeks, from August through December, they had struggled to reach this pinnacle. And when dawn lit the beaches of Southern California on that fateful Sunday morning, they were ready to seize the final fruit. They could almost taste it. The smell was stronger than a ton of rotten mangoes. Their nerves burned like open sores on a dog's neck. White knuckles, wild eyes, strange fluid welled up in their throats with a taste far sharper than bile. Those who went early said the pregame tension was almost unbearable. By noon, many fans were weeping openly for no apparent reason. Others wrung their hands or gnawed on the necks of pop bottles, trying to stay calm. Many fistfights were reported in the public urinals. Nervous ushers roamed up and down the aisles, confiscating alcoholic beverages and occasionally grappling with drunkards. Gangs of second-all-crazed teenagers prowled through the parking lot outside the stadium, beating the mortal shit out of luckless stragglers. Wait, what? No. Grantland Rice would never have written weird stuff like that. His prose was spare and lean. His descriptions came straight from the gut. And on the rare and ill-advised occasion when he wanted to do a, quote, think piece, unquote, he called on the analytical powers of his medulla. Like all great sports writers, Rice understood that his world might go all to pieces if he ever dared to doubt that his eyes were wired straight to his lower brain, a sort of de facto lobotomy, which enables the grinning victim to operate entirely on the level of sensory perception. Green grass, hot sun, sharp cleats in the turf, thundering cheers from the crowd, the menacing scowl on the face of a pulling guard as he leans around the corner on a Lombardi-style power sweep and cracks a sharp plastic shoulder into the linebacker's groin. Ah, yes, the simple life. Back to the roots, the basics. First a mousetrap, then a crackback, and a button hook off a fake triple reverse fly pattern. And finally, the bomb. Indeed. There is a dangerous kind of simple-minded power, precision worship at the root of the massive fascination with pro football in this country. And sports writers are mainly responsible for it.
Yeah. Okay.
That is so true, too. That is so true.
All right. Go Hunter Thompson. All right. Is that your is that your reading for the second round, or have you a second?
No, I think that'll be okay for today. Thanks very much.
I just have a question. Did you choose that shirt on purpose? Is that a Hunter Thompson?
No, this is, I guess it could be, but I got this like about over 20 years ago on the Reno Strip for like $19, and it's one of my favorite shirts. Beautiful shirt, yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It's so California.
It does seem like a good one to wear on Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, I want to say that thank you for reading Hunter Thompson. That it's almost worthy of a moment of silence just to hear his voice, knowing now that he's dead. And
yes,
for those of us who write, it's
well, he was very meticulous in leaving behind his written legacy, and we all have that available to us, you know.
Yeah. But just it's something to bear in mind that, you know, our voices potentially, you know, will live on.
Yeah.
Yes, potentially.
Okay. Well, thank you, Dave, and by extension, thank you, Hunter S. Thompson.
Thanks everybody for listening.
Yes, always good. Okay, now let's go to Narcel. And I will read this directly into the microphone, and I'm assuming it will work. Okay, this is Narcel's poem called Silent Scream. And Narcel, Silent Scream. I'm cold with a silent scream in your eyes. I'm tired of my plundered hopes. From the mad age of love, a one cloud passes by. The lights are lit from my pain. A vast star.
No.
What do you mean no? I'm right into the microphone.
We can't hear you.
The lace I knit from my pain. A dashed star on my head now. I will see my eye in the sun. Unruly clouds washed my face. The lights I knit from my pain. A dashed star from my head now. Okay, thank you, Marcel. Thank you. Okay. So next, we would like to call up Letitia. Hello, Letitia. Oh, no, wait, I'm sorry. Narcel needs to read in Turkish. Narcel,
Yes.
Silent Scream.
Yes. Sessiz çığlık. Düşüyorum. Gözlerinde sessiz bir çığlığın. Hayra yorarım talan edilmiş umutlarımı. Aşkın deli çağından şarabi bir bulut geçiyor. Acılarından ördüğüm dantel, başımda tarlı bir yıldız şimdi. Göreceğim güneşin gözünü, asi bulutlar yıkadı yüzümü. Acılarından ördüğüm dantel, başımda tarlı bir yıldız şimdi. Thank you.
Thank you, Nercel. Thank you. And given the microphone problem, that was 2 poems. I'm going to ask you to satisfy with the one in English and your original in Turkish. So thank you, Nercel. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
I had a question. Who translates Narcel's poems?
Google Translate.
Yeah, she's translating it. She's translating it online. Can you believe that?
Uh-huh.
That's wow. That's pretty damn good for online translation. That must mean the original must be stunning, just stunning. Okay, after now what? Let's see. Well, now we're gonna go to Leticia. We're ready for you, Leticia.
Motherfucker did it. Did it without me. Untwine the vines between us, unbeknownst to me. The door slammed shut. He left with glee. And I standing there, the last leaf on the tree.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's an honest confessional. Number 2, if you wish, Leticia.
I found the yellow, the green, the blue, but all I really wanted was you.
That's a full statement. That's a full statement. Okay. Well, that was short and sweet, and thank you. Thanks for coming on. And now I'd like to bring on Carolina. Carolina.
First, the sound, and second, I found the whole poem of Juan Gelman with other parts very nice.
Yes, well, how long might that be?
Oh, very short, because every part are really, really very short. But
okay.
Maybe I'll just read 4 and 5. It's as long as another short poem. It's really short.
Okay.
And it will be in Spanish. So it's a little bit after than the other one I read. Que del recuerdo suba el olor de tu cuerpo y se haga tu cuerpo. Que la noche devuela tu dulzura. Que tus manos sean dadas por el temblor que dieron. Que tus ojos regresen de todo lo mirado. Paloma del amor, en vez. Asciendes pura en libertad. Giras y cantas como el cielo vas invadiendo el mundo. Como un niño te canto bajo la noche oscura, cofre de los secretos, juegos hondos, temblores del otoño como pañuelos rápidos. Te canto allí para que seas, señora del cantor. Con boca limpia digo uno a uno tus nombres. Pongo mi rostro en la penumbra de lo que de ellos desciende. Hago un gran fuego con tus nombres bajo la noche oscura. En realidad quiero decir, me haces andar contra la muerte.
Los recuerdos de vida. Oh, wow, all the way to the end.
Mm.
That was brilliant. Thank you, Caroline. Do you have a second excerpt from him?
From him, no, that was both. J'ai lu les deux à la suite. C'est vraiment, c'était la toute fin du poème dont j'avais lu une partie tout à l'heure.
Ouais.
Maybe I just can read one of mine.
Yes.
It's a short one. Oh, just I thought I had it in Spanish, but it will be in English, so you can understand. It's I take the time to love you. I think for Valentine's Day, it's okay. And so, like a galloping horse herd, wearing blinders to prevent them to feel the space around them, but the road has no ending. It opens out into a ravine. Why? Why running when they can graze peacefully, devouring the tender grass? Why running like that? Because the men in gray told them too, there is no time to lose. Love is an emergency. Life is an emergency. Emergency, but why? Why run when you can take the time? Why? Saving what time? The one we need to rest from the run we just had? I'm not one of those ones. I prefer walking at my own rhythm and by night from my bed. Listen to the song of the night, the stars' song, time's song, dancing in the wind, savage, alone sometimes, always in music. I'm dancing in my rhythm and love it. And I take the time. I take the time to feel life inside me, around me. I take the time for love also. The time for love. So it will be necessary to take it. I thought that was what I was born for. It would be an occupation, a cherry on the top of a bitter cake. Nope. It's something else. I wanted this kind of bread. Love is something different. It shares its beat with my heart. It is what takes my words away when I see you. It is the silence's sudden roar of pleasure. Just thinking about feeling your presence here. Love is what makes the trees grow. Love is life. Life is love. How can I take the time to be who I am? Was this world where such an evidence becomes a luxury, a precious thing we rediscover luckily, as if it were a hidden treasure forgotten for a long time? I am a jewel. You are a jewel. Lady Nature's jewel, the most beautiful, because I love you. All that and much more, because life is so beautiful.
Voila. Okay. Another love poem. Very nice.
Happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
All right. And yourself in your own specific voice, joining so many women who, when they talk about love and romance, wish to tell men, take your time. Whereas so many of us, and it's been my experience as well, oh, I'm in love. This is an emergency. and this is, and you know, if she thinks it's an emergency, we're both destined to be a hot flash and then fizzle.
Right. Where's the fire?
Yeah, right. So I have to agree with your specific sentiment and the general sentiment offered by women, even though I've fallen prey to what you said. Love is an emergency. Ring some bells. Let's get going. Which is, Yeah, yeah.
I
Let's
can
end it
relate
this thing
in.
quicker than we need. Okay. Thank you, Caroline. Thanks again for your messages. Okay. So now we will stay in Paris and we will go to Jack Cooper.
All right. Valentine's Day. I have two Valentine poems. Those of you who have heard them before, because I think I read them here last year, I'll refresh your memory. The first is called My Unknown Valentine. Someone can turn dream to reality. After you, a few weeks ago, and maybe because you too, well, noticed me, or even not yet, I carried hope, brief, tentative, someone like you, whom I had recognized as at least an image of that unknown must actually appear in my life. I imagine you would be serious, industrious, devoted to a sense of goodness, a denoted bliss, including our own, with a vitality of joy, fragrantly, lusciously, laughingly illimited in your arms, and possibly enfolding mine. Any of this make sense?
Does anything in love make sense? Yeah. Right. Okay. All right. Yeah. If love made sense, many of us wouldn't be in love. You know, it's that irrational, counterintuitive feeling. At least. Okay, number two, Jack. You're the second Valentine offering.
All right, my second one is called A Valentine Never Sent. I love you, Shelley. Your face echoes as the moon, my risen voice. You watch over me. Nights on either side, we dream in tandem, too busy by day for our own, until time goes away. Mantra yours, self-discipline. Mine, subjective disorder, unable to get anywhere, do anything on time. And so what? Love can even redeem then, if we dare not. Stars stand still and stare, for we are such improbably dissevered, neither could reclaim nor grant entirely another. I love you, Sherry. I confess its depth to your eyes. Let us, you and I, free both worlds we have changed, continue to shine when no longer remain. I love you too well to say it, dead or never.
Okay. Now that among other lines, one line that struck me was, what is that? I love you. I say it to your eyes. Would you repeat that? I'm paraphrasing.
I confess its depth
to your
eyes.
Yeah, I confess its depth to your eyes. Yes, that is so ultimately the honest expression. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Jack.
Thank you.
And thanks for the for the autopsy on dysfunctional relationships as well.
Yeah, that is an autopsy indeed.
Hey, it happens, man. It happens. All right. Let's welcome Patricia Kerrigan in from Brooklyn. Hello, Patricia. Unmute yourself.
Hi, yeah. Okay, how many do I read? 2 or 3?
Well, we're in the second round, so could we hear two?
Okay, fine.
Please.
Valentine's related, anti-Valentine's. The girl from Ipanema. In her head, Antonio Carlos Jobim played Bossa Nova. February sunshine hinted Rio de Janeiro. Broken concrete dressed in Brooklyn tile. Amid a crowd of lovers, she danced a samba, ate fresh bio de queso, drank cool cacacha. She walked toward the sea, but no one saw her. She smiled again, but no hearts were given. Eoneo era garota, she Ipanema. Not as tall and tan, young and lovely. She wasn't a girl from Ipanema. The scenery changed, the temperature dropped. The crowd of lovers faded with the music. The samba stopped, her poem lost its mood. Brooklyn, Brazilian tile left the Brooklyn concrete. She trashed her debonairo, ran back upstairs. She never noticed the broken tile outside her door. Brazilian hearts made in Brooklyn.
Whoa, okay. Nice, Patricia. Number 2, please.
My Funny Valentine, inspired by Sarah Vaughan. Photos took away what makeup tried to compensate. Her mouth and expression distorted by light and angle. Her figure less than chic, even in basic black. To match her mood, she dyed her hair the bluest purple. She used to hum My Funny Valentine, joked about her looks and intelligence, but would ask her. Oh, sorry. He used to, I'm sorry, I'm a little tired. Let me back up a little bit. Can I start again?
Please.
Sorry, apologize. Photos took away what makeup tried to compensate. Her mouth and expression distorted by light and angle. Her figure less than chic, even in basic black. To match her mood, she dyed her hair the bluest purple. He used to hum My Funny Valentine, joked about her looks and intelligence, but would ask her to stay another night. His sarcasm would jab deeper. Her thorns sharpened, sliced, commercialized expectation. Her vulnerability fell, her stem transformed, a reminder to single women that more petals must fall. Thank you.
Whoa, a reminder to single women. That's a memorable line, that more petals need to fall. Wow. True. Okay. So how you been, Patricia? You having a tired day?
Crazy day, yeah.
What's crazy? What's crazy?
It's I'm just tired. I had an accident in the street. I don't talk about too much, but I'm okay. Hands are healing, and at least the swelling went down. It happened a few days ago.
Oh.
My body still hurts. A place because the hair blows in my face. You know, you're trying to cross the street on 79th Street here in Brooklyn, and for some reason I got the hair got in my. I couldn't see that there was like a gap before you reach the sidewalk. It was a damage that the city didn't repair.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, Patricia.
Clamped on my poor head and all that. But luckily, thank God, no broken teeth. I was frightened.
Really, I hit the ground real hard a couple of weeks ago, and the first thing I thought about, do I still have teeth?
That's, dentists.
Yeah, I had a knot on my head, which was easier to deal with than missing teeth, Anyway, Patricia, since you made the effort to come on a tired day, why don't you read us Three's a Charm?
Okay, it's a short one. Stranger on the Shore, what started all this jazz stuff to begin with. Instrumental by Acker Bilk. Pinot Noir and jazz sang the blues on this cold mid-February night. I refilled my glass, let thoughts slow dance with the clarinet. As I lounged in midnight hues, the old LP played Stranger on the Shore. I took another sip, watched the glass fall. As the track turned bluer, thoughts bled, Valentine red. When the record ended, all colors faded to black.
Whoa. Okay. Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
a,
It hurts
and a
like
remind,
hell. I'm
and
on
a
IP
reminder.
floor.
And when is the next Brownstone Poets?
God, the 26th.
26. Wow. You know, and yeah, in several days. I'll be there.
Okay,
Jack
sign
is
up to all the usual.
Jack will be there.
I'll be there.
With Claire and all that.
Yeah, I'm with you there, Patricia. I fell in November and broke 2 ribs, so you know.
Fuck.
Similar scene, you know, where I just didn't see a curve.
For mine, because the hair's growing out and
Yeah.
it was windy.
And I will say that the earth never seemed so flat.
No lawsuit?
I'm okay.
No.
You had broken ribs, yeah. But that heals, like this, you know, bones heal.
Tony. You know,
I take a lot of sea. I'm taking a lot of fish oils and eating a lot of mushrooms. Mushrooms has all the good vitamins in it. You know, eat almonds, has E, E's good for healing.
Mo, you eat a lot of mushrooms, don't you?
Yeah, it hurts like hell here, and it's traveling to my back. But I try to do a little exercise, and at least I'm walking straighter.
Okay.
What
And Jack,
bitch. What a bitch.
I eat mushrooms when I can get them stateside. They're good for
Whose dog is that?
I don't know about strong teeth and bones.
Tony.
Tony.
Tony.
Okay. Okay, so I tell you what, Jack, why don't you mute so that if Tony barks, he doesn't come across?
Yeah.
How's that? We'll just
I was just talking to Patricia and everybody.
Yeah, no, but I mean,
I will respectively mute.
Just without me. Okay, thank you. And so now I'm going to hover on this stupid microphone, and I'm the last one to go. So here I go. Now here is my Valentine's poems. They could be more explicit, but anyway, I found these 2, and I'll read the first one in English. The second one has been published and translated in French. So it's simply called Here. Here, take it, place it in the palm of your hand. Sleep it, breathe. Here does not require nor oblige. The meaning of this act, its reward, a light to your soul, and I sing your song and smile.
Mo.
What?
Hold on, man. Sorry, but you're muffled again.
Muffled again. Okay, I'll try it again. What a terrible microphone. Okay, am I clear now? Well, you're muted now, Jack.
Yes. Now, yes, but it's tentative.
Wow. It's a drag. Let's see if we can do something about this. Here, take it, place it in the palm of your hand. Sleep on it, dream. Here does not require nor oblige. The meaning of this act, its reward, light to your soul, and I sing your song and smile. Here, freely given, freely receive, feast your eyes, the spark of life, the mystery. Here it comes. It goes. Your touch. Here. Be whole now, ever yours. Here. Remember me when you need a wave to ride on. One precious drop of life. Here. One moment. Bliss. Weightless love. Okay, so I think that was audible.
Sort of.
Sort of. Ain't that a bitch? And that is fucked up. So I'm not.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. That's
When is your birthday to offer you?
No, I've told you before, I have a very good computer, but these plug-in, it didn't come with a camera lens or a microphone. So I've installed 2 different lenses and microphones, only to find out that most of them are not really compatible with this make of computer. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Am I being heard now?
Yes, I hear you, but you're a little muffled.
It's still muffled. Is it still muffled?
A little, yeah. Go in and out.
Is it still muffled?
Very nasal.
Very nasal. Wow.
Mo, you're all right.
Okay, I'll tell you.
Sucks.
Well, that's wow. And my phone wants to ring too. Please. Okay, now I'm going to try this in French, just for the hell of it. Am I being heard? Or muffled? Muffled, huh? Still muffled. Clear yet? No. Still not clear? I suppose I'm still not clear. Is that right?
You're not clear. I think it has to do with your position.
No, it has to do with a very shitty microphone.
No, but why sometimes we hear you? Sometimes when you're talking and presenting, when you're not reading.
I can answer that quickly. Without moving, it still distorts. Okay? It still distorts without me moving. So
don't move. We hear you right now. Don't move.
Don't move. Okay. Then I'll try it. I will try it again. Try it again. I'll just try it once in English then. Here, take it, place it in the palm of your hand. Sleep on it. Drain. Here does not require nor oblige. The meaning of this act, its reward, left to your soul. And I see your soul and smile. Here, freely receive. It's your eyes, the spark of life, the mystery. Here, it comes, it goes, it wants your touch. Here, be here now, ever yours. Here, remember me when you need a wave to ride on. One precious drop of life. Here, one moment of bliss, weightless love. Okay, there, I gave it a second try. I hope that came on a little better. Because it is crazy, Mike, I won't read the French translation because in my accent with a bad microphone, that sounds like a fender bender.
Mo, I wonder if it's the only difference is we can hear you when you're not reading. Is that because you're reading off the computer? Is that not compatible? Something, your screen comes up and it can't do the mic at the same time?
This is a very feeble microphone. And as I told you, I don't want to prolong this.
Like right now, we hear you, no problem. We hear you,
Yeah.
no problem. What's the difference?
The
Do you read
difference
from the
is,
screen?
yes.
That's the problem, maybe. Maybe you should read from the pages. Paper.
And you know, I try not to move my head at all, but there's something about maybe screen reading has some kind of digital disruption, some digital effect.
Yeah, because
So
we hear you now. We hear you now, no problem.
I'm gonna print these out for next week.
Yes.
So I hear you here.
Oh, you're loud and clear.
Take it, please place it in your dream and wake it in the morning. There, I've improvised it. Anyway, that was my attempt to do a Valentine's message for today. And wow, let's see. Why don't I say that, first of all, that has been a very nice second round, a very nice evening. So I want to thank, in the order, Lydia, Jeannie, Pablo, David, Nursel, Joe, Lawrence, Jack, Letitia, Caroline, Benedicta, Patricia. Wow, what's that, 15 of us tonight or something? It's been very, very nice. And of course, and my job is to write a little summary of this, but with once again, when you have several outstanding poets in a session, and you have, in this case, me trying to do a summary that doesn't like run on like a review in the Atlantic or the New Yorker. It's like very difficult because there's so much richness to refer to. So I try to do my best to insert as much of the richness as I can record without it going on and on and on and on. So I want to thank everybody who's come on tonight, and know that I'll be writing up that summary about, well, Valentine's. And don't forget Hunter Thompson, who wrote on the Super Bowl in his Hunter Thompson-ish way. This will probably disrupt the jocks, and that's okay.
Will you pardon my asking when the Super Bowl is?
In Paris, it starts about midnight 30.
Oh, it's today.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
The Super Bowl.
We congratulate you on not knowing when it was, Jack.
Right. That's a plus.
That'll
No,
be
it's in your favor.
I can do it.
right. And
But I remember the first Super Bowl.
wow. You mean with well, I don't know about the first, but I remember Broadway Joe telling the New York Giants he was going to kick their ass. And everybody in sports land said, boy, is he a presumptuous guy. And then he kicked their ass.
Yeah.
When he was nobody. This is before he became famous. You know, he had balls. You know, he had real cojones. So they were the underdogs. They were the New York Jets. And everybody knows the Jets are the
And
last.
he was
They're
Joe
still
Namath.
the underdogs. They're horrible.
Yeah. And another credit for Joe Namath was when he was interviewed after the victory, he was wearing a fur coat and he was wearing gold chains and rings. And people thought football players don't act this way. And he had his hair all done up, pretty curly styled. And what he said was, I'm worth every penny you pay me, and you're going to pay me more. And Joe Namath started the business relationship where NFL players could negotiate their own payments and they would win these huge sums. So they're eternally grateful to Joe Namath for coming out and doing that, because it worked. It worked. So
They called him Broadway Joe, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Because of the way he acted.
Yeah.
But as I say, he was the first one to say, my team has owners, but I demand being paid what I'm worth. And the rest of you players should speak up the same way. and they followed his example. And so that's why NFL players are grateful to Joe Namath. Point now where they sit in vulgar, in vulgar, insatiable incomes. Like, you know, one guy signed for $24 million contract over 4 years. Okay, so they made up for that in spades. So now the Super Bowl is the largest celebrated holiday. I believe it rivals Christmas as the largest celebrated holiday in the United States. Isn't that sad?
I hate football. I can't stand sports, sir. I can't take it.
You know, I love sports, but when sports outdoes family, right? When sports outdoes family.
Goddamn business. I mean, baseball used to be like homegrown, all that stuff. You see kids in the streets playing baseball.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and you said my father's just, I remember going to the ball games, Yankee Stadium as a kid. I mean, it was nice when you know, but now it's like you can't buy the damn seats. You gotta be rich.
Right. Same for football games. I think you can pay up to $80 for a common seat in an American football game.
And that's ridiculous what they charge for food. You can't eat a steak and hot dog just cost like a few. I mean, it's ridiculous now. You can't even have a hot dog.
And the only good thing about this year's Super Bowl is the low income organization of the Cincinnati Bengals are playing in the Super Bowl. They are not filled with all these preordained superstars making mega millions. And so they're the underdog for that reason. So there's one good aspect of today's game. You know, the underdogs from Cincinnati.
But Mo, you're heading out to the Great Canadian. You're going to have fun watching the game.
Yeah, because it's Cincinnati, and nobody in Cincinnati lives in Paris. We'll all be rooting for the underdog. It's an underdog night, and I can appreciate that.
Yep.
That I can appreciate. So
I hope they don't go. You know, if they win, they're probably going to get, you know, join the club, you know?
Oh, you know it. If they win, they'll jack up their asking price.
Join the club, right. The Millionaire Boys Club.
That's American sports now. Everything is money. And you know what else? People by survey claim that the most interesting feature of the Super Bowl are the commercials.
That's what I heard, yeah.
The industry makes its best commercials of the year for the Super Bowl. And I reviewed the commercials last night, and they are so wonky. You know, they're just, what do you call it? Clickbait.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you can watch them separately. You don't have to watch the Super Bowl. You can just watch the commercials.
Yeah, this was a preview. They were leaked on YouTube. The 10 Super Bowl commercials, and something like $64 million for one commercial, $80 million for another commercial, the lead commercial.
Right.
And people are starving. People can't get health care in this country.
Right. No, I was just going to say
people don't have a place to live.
I mean, the homeless. I mean, this is like so obscene.
Yes.
Drastic.
Bread and circuses.
Yes.
Yeah.
Give them bread and circuses. Right.
The poor, right.
That's what Caesar said. Keep them down. Keep them preoccupied in these days.
We didn't know the French Revolution.
Yes.
Well,
cute
little Marie Antoinette saying, "Let them eat cake." Right?
Yeah. Well,
it was so adorable.
Free.
The protest trucker convoy entered Paris yesterday, the French version, and tied up the Champs-Élysées and other entrances to Paris. And I don't blame them. They weren't saying they're anti-vaxxer. They're simply saying we don't need the government to control and monitor us. Protect your health, make your own decisions, and let's not have the government tracking us every time we get a medical exam. And I agree with them because I know what happened in the States and in China. Look at China. You're tracked every single day. So I agree with these people, and I've heard them speak where they said, get vaccinated if you like. Don't get vaccinated. It's your own risk. But don't have the government tracking us on our every move. And I agree with that. So that's my feeling, and I've been vaccinated, but I didn't need the government to follow every time, you know, I use the restroom or go see a doctor.
It's a slippery, it's a weird kind of situation because you have people spreading, you know, lies as well about, you know, the vaccine and such things like that.
Right.
So that causes difficulties.
My niece got it. She caught it. And she was vaxxed completely, but she had to go to her job, and not everybody's vaxxed.
Okay.
She tried to be careful. She caught Omicron.
Yeah,
yes, when the Supreme Court ruled against the legislation to require people in the workplace to be vaccinated, the ruling was based on the fact that that it was general, or that it's required to be specific rather than general, and that people can, I can't even remember what it was, but it was absolutely absurd.
Right.
The reasoning.
And there has been people that have put misinformation out. That is for sure. The sad truth is that's come from the very top, Dr. Fauci, all the way to these bloggers. So all the way to the bottom, from the top to the bottom, it's been proven that from Dr. Fauci, our chief medical officer, Caroline, he's our chief medical officer, ended up having to say, when I told you you didn't need masks at the start of COVID, I'm sorry, I only meant that so you wouldn't buy all the masks and we wouldn't have them for hospital. And then, you know, the governor of New York, I'm sorry I put all these COVID people back in the old age homes from where they came and then they died. But we were not prepared to pay for them for individual care. All the way down to local people who say, you know, there is no epidemic, there is no COVID. So it's coming from top to bottom, actually, you know.
It's a hoax.
And I got vaccinated and I'm not getting a booster, and I wear a mask when I need to wear a mask because they're already saying people with boosters have gotten COVID. So fuck it. I'm not. If you're already saying that,
I rather say this. I'm still gonna wear my damn mask. I have a pile of masks waiting to wear. I'm not taking any fucking chances.
I don't blame you.
I don't like being sick.
I don't blame you.
Sorry, right?
And there are people in my South Brooklyn who never wear masks.
Whoa.
Certain people.
You see, I'm for respecting people who are ultra health conscious. I totally respect that. And I'm for not fighting with people who don't want to get vaxxed. I just don't want to get close to them or kiss them. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Well, I am, except that, you know, they're potentially spreading the virus. I mean, it's not, I mean,
they can be a carrier. That can be a carrier. They mean
they could be. You're right. You're right.
There's a few people on the circuit, the poetry circuit here in New York.
Okay.
Who refuse to get vaxxed. I'm not gonna say her name.
Okay.
Troublemaker.
Yeah. You see, like I say, I don't get in their fights. I just say live long and prosper. Just live long and prosper. And you know, you talk about misinformation, and they've made a legitimate outcry about misinformation about COVID, particularly against Joe Rogan. the biggest podcast audience in the world, an average of 20 million.
Big bucks.
Huh?
Speaking of big
Spotify.
bucks, he got $100 million from Spotify.
Yeah, he's got what he calls fuck you money. And that's what he says. I have fuck you money. I can say this and not be penalized.
Right.
But the thing is Rogan had a couple weirdos on claiming, giving misinformation. And then he's had people on that have been very valuable. And so I just take him speaker by guest by guest. But what I find quite interesting, and I agree with the indie podcasters, if we can call out misinformation on COVID, why does NBC and the mainstream media been giving us misinformation ever since weapons of mass destruction hoax in Iran? And we continue to hold them up as the mainstream, and we continue. And they continue to give misinformation. The economy is booming. Our last story is homelessness is on the rise. Now, wait a minute. If that was Joe Rogan or an indie podcaster, you'd be, frying him on that. But you guys on mainstream can play with us like that. And I really resent that the mainstream can get away with that.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the mainstream media is
the corporate media is the more accurate way to describe that.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that I wish the American people would continue to drop out of mainstream and decide whether they want to follow independent people and judge for themselves again. I think it's back to us judging for ourselves. If I followed Rachel Maddow, who's a great liberal on social issues, and then called for increasing the war in Syria and Iraq and Afghanistan, I'd be a schizoid like Rachel Maddow, and I'd rather go to an indie and just take them, one program at a time. And that's my feeling anyway, because stuff like
Caroline,
that.
this is local news. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well,
Right. We should get back to firemen saved a cat in a tree.
Yeah.
That's it. Dog makes friends with a lion. I don't know.
Happy stuff, right? No news is good news.
Right.
That's what sells. That's corporate America. We thrive,
Right.
and also everybody wants to follow suit with corporate America, right?
Yeah. Like I said,
And I can do it at the fucking Olympics.
Whoa, those Olympics are going to be weird, man.
Yeah,
Really weird.
Heard that girl who, I don't give a shit about the Americans or the Chinese, but there's one girl who's American born in San Francisco. What's her name? Hugh? What's her last name?
Zhu something.
Yeah, whatever. She won the medal because she decided to take Chinese citizenship because of her mother.
Oh, okay.
Maybe she did because she knew that the judges will be in her favor.
Yeah, like the Soviet judges used to be during that time period.
So she just sold out.
You'll win.
She's acting. She says, "Well, I'm in America. I'm going to be American. If I'm in China, I'm going to be Chinese." And acting like arrogance, like God forbid if you talk against it, you're racist.
Well, that's what Apple and Amazon do. Buy American, and we're putting our money in the Cayman Islands. In hidden
Drug
bank.
companies, all our drugs, American drug companies, we produce in China. Not American.
Wow. Yeah, craziness. It's a good thing we're poets and not following the latest gab either from nutty podcasters or mainstream news. It's a good thing we judge between the two of them.
Yeah.
That's really great. All right. So I'm going to say, everybody, thank everybody. And we'll see all you good people next week, hopefully, in good health, no COVID, and no heart attacks over some stupid Super Bowl. And
yeah, I mean, now that you've alerted me, I'm staying.
Super Bowl.
Okay. And,
Because when the
oh,
great scorer comes to write against your name, it
Yeah.
won't matter whether
Yeah, the only thing is
you
that,
won or lost, how
wait,
you played the
the
game.
broadcast begins at what, 12:30 our time, Mo?
I guess so. I just know that, yeah, I think the kickoff is midnight 30
Oh.
Paris time,
Oh, okay.
About half an hour.
6:30 US time. So,
And that's kickoff, not endless interviews
yeah.
with the sportscaster.
That's
My-
happening right now.
Yeah.
You're missing
Yeah.
all that.
My daughter
Oh,
from the
sorry.
my daughter Caitlin from the Lower East Side called me to cry today over breaking up with her boyfriend again. Young love, you know. And and I said, so what are you doing today? She said, well, I'm not with Drew, her boyfriend, because we broke up, and you know what he'd be doing all day? Watching the goddamn Super Bowl publicity that started at noon in New York City. She said noon. The whole TV is captured by Super Bowl coverage, 6.5 hours in advance.
Yeah. Wow.
So
This is what, if when we used to go to the readings, in-person readings, the Parkside Lounge, you'd be hearing the blasting of the sports.
You're
trying to have a poetry reading.
Mm-hmm.
This is the fucking sports.
But I gotta tell you, since living in Paris, you know, for many years, I started watching soccer, and soccer is very exciting compared to American football. So American baseball and Europe and world soccer are my sports to watch. You know, so I get some pleasure out of that because I wouldn't dump sports. I used to run cross country and ping pong. It's a sport. I was a teenage champ for 1 year, just 1 year. So I don't dump.
That's good to know.
I don't dump
ping pong.
Huh?
It's good to know. I've been playing ping pong recently, and I won't play.
Oh, it's good though. It's good for your reflexes.
It's great. No, I live basically in Chinatown, so it's like.
Oh well, don't do it.
There's some serious play there.
Okay. I won the 13-year-old championship when I was 13 years old in ping pong. Now, at 18, I was in San Francisco, and in Chinatown, I played ping pong. And at 18 years old, as a former champ, the 13-year-old Chinese kids were killing me. This is true. They were wiping me. 13.
Yeah.
I couldn't play above the age of 13. So you're right, Jack. Stay away from them Chinese kids. They roll ping pong.
Absolutely.
And the Asians roll badminton too. You know, Indonesia and those places. Whoa, they win. So see, there's some good sports going on. You know.
No, football's great. Soccer is great.
Soccer is really great because.
Well, technically, it's called football.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah,
Americans messed it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would have inches and they would have centimeters. You know, that's how that works. You know, we would have a mile, they would have a kilometer. We had to be different.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't give a foot about American football.
But and what most of the world calls the game is football. Futbol. Football.
Football.
Yeah, Futbol. And when you see Liverpool or some of those teams, they're down 4-1 with 4 minutes left, and these heroic end games that they don't quit. They don't quit. So I love the spirit.
Yeah.
Anyway,
do you follow a team?
Yeah, I do. I've always followed Liverpool for a number of reasons. You know, the Liverpool. You'll never walk alone. They own that song. You'll never walk alone.
Yeah, I like Manchester.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I always root for the biggest underdog that never gets in, Newcastle. When Newcastle ever gets into League One Championship, Premier League as they call it, I'm going to have a seat in the Newcastle Stadium to watch them. I won't hold my breath waiting. but I'm waiting for Newcastle. Newcastle on Tyne.
Yeah.
And always Liverpool. In the old days, I rooted for Glasgow Celtic against Glasgow Rangers, because back then it was a war between Irish civil rights and Protestant domination, and it was fought out in Glasgow between the Protestants who wanted to keep Protestant privilege and the Irish minority, a large minority, who wanted equal rights. So the damn games between Glasgow Celtic and Glasgow Rangers, Jesus, it was a political showdown with the city divided 50-50. And we all rooted for Glasgow Celtic because we were always rooting for Irish civil rights. So that's how that worked in the old days.
Yeah.
And now that the Irish have a chance for equal rights, they're arguing among themselves and screwing it up. So,
They're
Isn't
Irish.
that always the case?
They're Irish. They got it.
yeah, they're Irish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boo, boo, boo, boo.
So that's how
Hey,
that.
Irish.
Anyway,
Notre Dame.
and I'm grateful for football because my son, being born in Paris, is a footballer, as we say, footballer, and he got a scholarship to Point Park University in Pittsburgh. So he got his bachelor's degree in the U.S. and he got promoted to Princeton High School starting team in soccer. So he got to go to Princeton High and Point Park University because of his soccer skills. And he did earn his high school diploma, no faking, and his university diploma. And I didn't have to pay very much at all because it was football scholarship. So I got to be grateful for that. I got to be grateful. I got to be grateful. So anyway, I got to be grateful for tonight. This has been a really nice reading. And I hope that all of us find some degree of love through the evening and through tomorrow when we think about Valentine's Day. And as one person said, I think, was it Jeannie Nakano who said earlier, I have learned to love myself.
Yeah.
The ultimate. Wow. The ultimate.
Happy
So-
Singleness Day.
Be single. Well, if you're happy,
Happy Singleness Day. You know, this is the problem. Hallmark makes you
okay.
look like crap if you don't have somebody. Well,
Yeah. And not to panic because on one given day, you're not in heart swooning love. You know, I agree with someone who criticized it. Why Valentine's Day making loveless people feel bad? You know, I'm not against Valentine's Day, you know, but it's like it's so marketed now that if you don't have a love in your life because of the marketing, many people feel dejected, and that's overdoing it.
yeah, I had that experience when I worked in Bloomingdale's. It was a
Okay.
nightmare. It was a nightmare. I worked between two women who, my boss and the associate media director,
Yeah.
all the roses. They were trying to outdo each other. And meantime, I'm sitting between them with not a goddamn flower on my desk. And that hurts. That hurts. And that's why when I was so happy when Valentine's Day came on the weekend, I stayed home because I didn't have to put up with that. One of the guys down the hallway, he felt sorry for the women who didn't have any flowers in this. So he got each of 1 year he did one. Each one of us got a rose who didn't have a rose.
Well, that's nice. I used to buy a dozen roses. I used to buy a dozen roses off the Pakistani dealers who roamed the bars and cafes selling a single rose. So I knew one guy I helped out a little bit, you know, because I had some Pakistani friends. So he'd give me a dozen roses cheap. And when I went to the spoken word Paris poetry reading, then I would take one by one and give a dozen women a rose. With no flirt, you know, no obligation, you know, just here's a rose, poet. And that worked out. I felt good, they felt good. Unless there were 13 women. Uh-oh.
Judas.
Listen, but I used to do that, Caroline, buy off those Pakistani guys and hand out the roses to the women poets at spoken word Paris, and we all felt good. We all felt good. So that was
It's
a nice
nice.
thing to
It's a
do.
very nice idea.
Thank you.
It is.
Mother's Day is another problem, holiday. You know, if the Father's Day for the guys, if you don't have kids, thank God I have pets. So I'm a mother to my fish and to my frog.
Okay. And tonight we had some dog poems tonight, Patricia.
Mm-hmm.
We had some very good dog poems, even The Dog from Outer Space by Joe Kidd. So that's
So you know, that's what your pets are great.
My pet is cool. I pet my pet. And in French, a pet means fart. So you have to watch how you're talking English in front of French people. Oh, I love my pet. And they go, he loves his fart? There's my little pet, his little fart. Ooh la la. Yeah, right, Caroline?
Pepe Le Pew. Pepe
Ain't I
Le
right,
Pew.
Caroline?
Yeah. Let me tell you,
And
my
some dogs also do some.
Pepe
Yeah,
Le Pew.
Well, when my pet farts, she's bilingual.
Yeah.
She's bilingual. Same with Tony, right?
Oh, absolutely. And you can't, and very talkative.
Tony looks good. He got a big head. That's good.
Oh, yeah.
It's like birthday. He can bang into things and not get hurt.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, don't let the bastards get you down, everybody. Have a great week.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you. You
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Okay.
Thank you.
See y'all next
Good night,
time.
Patricia.
Jack, don't forget to send the poems, Jack,
I
and
won't. I just have-
Mo,
I
and
just have to
get
decide which one.
and get oh God, my head.
Claire.
Claire, I'm sorry, my it still hurts here like a
No,
bit.
she knows. I just, I
just
haven't.
know.
I
Well, I know. You're busy with the Rainbow Project too and all that crap.
Yeah, no, I just haven't chosen one. I had one in mind, but maybe it didn't even.
I just chose mine, thank God, because I'm asking everybody else. I do my own, so I finally did mine.
Well, you're selecting one moderate to short length poem.
Yes.
And may we send him 3 just to hope one of them gets in?
Yeah, you can send 3 if you like. I'll select.
Mine are short. I'm just having a problem making them attachments. It keeps
Oh,
wanting
you can
to.
set it in the body of. You can, as long as it's
thank
not a
you.
JPEG. As long as I could be okay with that. As long as it's not Google Docs.
No.
As long as it's not a JPEG or a whatever.
Could I send them a straight email text? They're brief.
Yeah.
I appreciate
And
that.
your 50-word bio.
Okay, because you know why? Because I selected 3 a couple weeks ago, and my laptop keeps saying save as PDF instead of mail. And then I put them in PDF, and PDF says won't move them to send. So if I could
put it in the body.
Okay.
Body email,
just
please.
brief. Okay. Very nice. Thank you,
Jack.
Patricia.
Thank you.
Good night, all.
Good night.
Night,
I gotta
everybody.
go make dinner.
Okay,
me
good
too.
afternoon, good night, whatever.
Good night. Bonsoir.
Bye-bye. A bientôt.
Ciao. Have fun with football tonight. American football.
Oh yeah, no,
Okay.
I'll be watching it now. Yeah.
All right.
All
What
right,
are you gonna
guys.
watch it on,
Mazel
Jack?
tov for that. Mazel tov.
Good
What
night,
are you
guys.
watching on?
Well, I wish the underdogs luck before they become the fat cats.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. There's the Bengals.
Yeah.
I'm trying to search for which pirate way I can watch it.
Yeah. Okay. Good night, everybody. I gotta
Good
go.
night. Good seeing
Dinner
you
time.
all.
Ciao.
Dormir, Caroline.
Au revoir.
Bye-bye. Ciao.